Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Scabagon, my hometown. This week, Kevin and Megan are at a concert, so Josh Lawless steps in. Jared talks about ladders and smoke detectors, and the guys sing birthday songs to Joe. Justin from Phimore tells stories from his band days and shocking eBay discoveries, listens to voicemails, plays games, and Brock goes in depth with corn.
Hello.
Hey. I chose to use the room with the worst Wi-Fi, so I didn't know if it was buffering on my part.
Nope, I can hear you.
Sweet.
Since Kevin can't be here, well, I'll put.
What did Kevin have that was so important?
Staying married. No.
Yes.
No. He.
I understand that.
Yeah, I know you do. His daughter was going to a concert and he needed to take her.
Nice.
So he decided to do that tonight.
It's a good reason.
Yeah, he just texted me. I think someone in the pit just shit themselves.
Wait, he texted you that?
Yeah.
I got that text. Oh, that's funny.
So Josh, you're good for like 5-6 hours? Is that what you said?
3.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do. If you must.
I got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, so do we.
Same. No one said the decisions were smart.
Is it sad that the first thing you look at when a concert comes out is if it's on the weekend or a weekday?
No.
I still look at it. Doesn't. I'm different. I know.
Well, I mean, like back in college, it didn't matter, but now it's like maybe not.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah.
It definitely affects the decision making.
Brock Dittis.
Heyo.
How's it going?
Brock, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks so much for asking.
Joshua, it's nice to meet you.
You too, bro.
Oh, you haven't met yet.
No, just we were on a text thread just a minute ago, and that was nice. But man, you have impressive facial hair yourself.
I appreciate it.
I think you've got everything that I wish that I did, and I don't. I'm follically challenged where you are blessed.
Well,
So,
yeah,
hey.
and I'm the same way. I cannot grow a mustache or a goatee, so
You don't need to. You look like you're Enjoy Electric.
Yeah, we work with what we have.
That's fantastic.
The great part is here, with our powers combined, we can have one amazing facial hair.
Let's put it all together.
Right.
Autobots assemble.
Right. All right. Photoshop people out there. Let's Photoshop us all together.
There we go.
We'll put in Jared's hair, and man, we're all set.
Josh, I also got to give you props on the ska shirt. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Yeah, I picked it up at a yard sale, so
I love it. Yeah.
That's right.
And is that a bass on the wall behind you, or is that a guitar?
Well, that's a bass. Well, yeah. In the middle of the bass, and on either side is guitars. Which
Okay.
That's a fake picture too. So.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
That's what the wall looked like before I had kids.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I understand. I have no idea.
I had to do something with all the CD jewel cases, so I just displayed them on the wall.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then when the kids moved in, other people had to take it down, and I was not part of that.
I was delayed, guys, because I was coming upstairs and I forgot I left a ladder on the stairs.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see this, but
okay, yeah. You got a painter's ladder there?
yeah. So up in the ceiling above the stairs over there, that's where a smoke detector goes.
Uh-huh.
And I came home from work yesterday and it was beeping, chirping. So I thought the battery was dead.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got up there and it's over the stairwell. So it's like 10 feet high, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
and it's directly over stairs. So not easy to get to.
So now it's 20 feet high.
Yes. But I climbed on like the banister, like the half shelf thing, but it's only like that wide yesterday, and got the battery out and put a new battery in, and it kept chirping, which made me very angry.
Yeah.
Because like you can't ignore that. It's just,
How
and it was like a chirp, chirp, chirp.
comply with fire code. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, geez, there's no fire. Calm yourself down and don't do your job.
I'm
No one wants to hear from you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I Google it, like, what is going on? I replaced the battery, still chirping. It's making 3 chirps. Well, I discover that apparently 3 chirps means it's a malfunction. You know where they put this information on the smoke alarm?
In the back of it, right?
On the back, like that
Yeah.
goes up into the ceiling. So it's
Uh-huh.
one that's wired in, but it's got a battery backup. But all the information about what the beeps mean and what to do are on the smoke alarm, which is in the ceiling, which is way up there. So I was like, I got to take this off, which meant disconnecting it. I couldn't do that from balancing on the ledge, or didn't want to do that. So I went out to the shed and got a ladder, but there's not enough space on like the landing for a ladder to fully like. So I had to do the like short legs up and the full legs down to get it off the thing. And I did that. It was pretty stable once I did that, but that was last night.
Yeah.
That's good.
This is all before I made dinner. Like my wife Tammy has practice on Monday night, so I had to make dinner. So it's just when I got home, my daughter, of course, the oldest one, was like, smoke alarm's beeping. Hadn't bothered her. She's in a room, hasn't not investigated one bit. She told me the wrong one. So I got really annoyed with it and I took it out. And then you still have to take the battery backup out because it kept chirping on the like downstairs. So I took the battery out. And then I just left the ladder in the stairwell because I was disgusted with the whole situation. Then I came up here and I had my backpack on because it's got like my laptop, like everything from work essentially. And I was like, oh yeah, there's a ladder like literally on the stairs. I cannot get around this thing. I got to move a ladder first. And I had my beverages in my hand with my backpack on, so I had to set everything down.
Man.
And, yeah. So I got delayed, guys. That's a long boring story.
So it's understandable, and
I was hoping the story would be longer.
I can tell you now that stepladder. I'm glad you know your stepladder. I never knew my real ladder.
It's not a step ladder. It's the ladder that stepped up, my friend.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll be here all week. All right. This is what I bring to a pickle home companion.
Now, I was gonna say, Brock, on a professionalism scale, I think we're easily in the top 3 most professional podcasts on a Pickle Home Companion podcast network.
Yep.
At least like top episodes? 3. Oh, just network. Overall.
Easily. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I am podcasting from a work trip, which means very, very professional.
I'm no longer podcasting from a boat, so I'm very, very unprofessional.
Well, and you took your captain's hat off. That's way more unprofessional.
I'm on shore now, guys. I couldn't, keep it going.
It's etiquette, right?
Yeah, Josh, don't worry about it. You'll hear it in a few weeks.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, Josh. It's the gap between what you know and what you don't know.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Yep.
Your world's about to change. Brace yourself.
We might trade stories with you. If you tell me a story, I'll tell you a story.
We'll spoil the episode coming out next week.
If you tell me something that Joe might have told you, I'll tell you about the episode coming out in the future.
Okay. Oh yeah, speaking of Joe, today's his birthday.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Happy birthday!
All right,
I hope you had a great birthday 2 weeks ago, Joe Yerke.
Should we do an intro?
Yeah.
So that we can wish him a happy birthday. All right, I got it this time. I got it in my hand. Hey, happy Failure Puddle Friday, everyone. We're here with a resident of Lake Scabagon, now a resident, and a member of the Diabolical Discussion, and part of the Pickle and Boot Shop community, substituting this night for our own Kevin, is Joshua Lawless. Welcome, Josh.
Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you. Welcome to Lake Scabagon. I hope you enjoy the weather here.
It's a nice day here at Lake Scabagon, yeah.
Well, I at first when I started listening, I thought Lake Scabagon was a real place. So
it's not.
It is. It's in your hearts.
Where am I then?
It's real if you believe it. Yes, if you lend your ear, that's right, to this story we tell.
And it will take you on quite an adventure because of this podcast. I now listen to like 5 other podcasts.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
We're not joking about a network, are we?
No. It all started from our overlords, our Reese Roper, Joe Yerke, and we got to give a shout out to our boy, Angry Roofer Joe Yerke. Happy birthday! 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever this comes out. I hope it was a wonderful one. But we're recording on your birthday, Joe. Don't you feel special? We're thinking of you
for his birthday. That's why we're doing it. This is a birthday celebration recording.
That's right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There you go, Joe.
I'm gonna whip
Nailed
out
it.
my nail gun and go.
I want to
There we
also
go.
I want to share with them another special song. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Sickness, sorrow, and despair. People dying everywhere. Happy birthday. That's what they used to sing to me as a kid.
There we
Oh,
go.
wow.
There we go.
Yep, pretty great, right?
What better time? It's more appropriate now than ever.
I turned out all right. Okay, well,
Yep, here we are.
happy birthday, Joe. You're loved and you're also tolerated.
Hey, Josh Laws, honorary squid. Do you have a song for Joe for his birthday?
I did not come prepared for that.
All right. I
It's
got another
okay.
one.
Okay.
Happy
We'll edit this
birthday
out.
to you. A happy birthday to you. May each day of the year be filled with pickled cheer. Oh, happy birthday to you. A happy birthday to you. I'm out of breath. Okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That
Okay,
was
so Josh, what we're
good.
gonna do?
The best day you
Here we go, here we
ever
go.
had. Okay.
Now, yeah, I got one. I'm ready. You ready?
All right.
Ready?
All right. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey,
Hey. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Well done.
I'm glad I
Well
could clap into the microphone. I'm sorry, Kevin. Kevin is not with us this evening. He is doing the dutiful task of being a father. It's the toughest job you'll ever love. And taking our intrepid introduction orator, Megan, on to a concert this evening. So I hope those two have a wonderful time.
That's great. Do we know who they're seeing?
In the great city of Boston. I believe it's
I do not.
a boy and his ukulele. What is it? Uke boy?
21 Pilots?
Yuka Burl. Let me look. Let's see.
Uke.
it's a boy and his ukulele.
Thank you very much. Good job, Google.
Okay.
Hey, Google.
Nice.
Boy
Hey,
with
Google.
uke? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
I see it now.
But yeah, so he's there this evening, and he sends his greetings to everyone here.
And we send our. He might drop in later, right? Like we told him, hey, you can call and talk to us.
Or you can call
We're around.
985-28 Squid and leave a message.
That's right. Speaking of which, Jared, do we
That's
have
a good
voicemails
choice.
this week?
We do. Are we doing them just us, or are we including our guests?
Well,
Or
our
other-
guest is probably almost here. Should we ask him if he wants to?
I think we could.
Yeah. Why not?
Or should we? Are we all ready?
No, but let's do it.
No, but we should start anyway.
We should.
Yeah. It's no time like the present.
Josh, do you want to start? Because we're starting.
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, there we
All right,
go.
Here we go.
That's why we're glad we have you here, Joshua.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here.
You're the decisive one.
We're looking for a yes and situation.
That's right.
Hello. Greetings.
Hey, what's
Good
up, guys?
evening.
Welcome. Welcome.
Hey.
Oh.
Audio's okay?
Absolutely.
Great.
Good.
Better than ours.
Nah.
My printer wants to install some software. Hold on. You talk amongst yourselves.
You have some important documents to get to?
Well, my computer's been on for over 2 hours, but now it wants to do it. So let's go.
Uh-huh. No one can know the mind of the electronic gadget.
Okay, I'm back.
This is my
Thank you.
favorite segment of our podcast.
It's 8:30 on the dot. Do you know where your printer's installing? Okay.
Oh goodness, Justin! Thank you for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure to talk to you in person. I think we're trying to start earlier and earlier in our talk with our guests to say thank you and to show our appreciations. Also to explain that I'm in a hotel and my phone's on a wireless charger. It's the best way, and so I apologize for my nostrils, but that's all we can do.
They're good looking nostrils. It's cool.
That's
He
kind
did
of
some
you. It's-
grooming. He's all good.
Honestly, it's the reason I keep bringing it up.
He's very
We-
proud of him.
We also wanted to know: is it Greiman,
Yeah,
etc.?
Greiman. Yep,
Greiman.
Greiman.
Okay.
Yes.
As opposed, because we thought about introducing you as Justin Phimore, but I wasn't sure what you prefer.
Yeah, Greiman's great. So
Okay,
are you
sounds
guys
good.
capturing video as well or just audio?
So we publish just audio, other than a few, like a clip or two leading up to the release. So we put it out on Fridays, like a week
Yeah.
out, and we'll
Week or
put
two, yeah.
like a clip usually leading up to it before we drop it on Fridays. Or Kevin, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight, does the real heavy lifting.
Yes.
But primarily just audio is what we're looking
Okay.
at.
Cool.
Yeah, And so if we have something fun along the way that we might release as far as a video, it's only like a little 2-minute clip. As we call it a low light, and we just kind of put it out there for just so people can check it out.
Cool. Sounds good.
And that's, of course, if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't have a very interesting set here or anything, so it's my real life.
It's all good. That's us too.
That's what we do with this podcast. It's all real life.
So we have very few rules, right? But one of our procedurals is if you want to like sidebar anything or specifically not include something in our recording and publishing, we usually just say time out, and that way we know. Unless we're saying it jokingly, we know that we can use that as our marker to what have you, and then of course time back in once we're done talking about all the juicy gossip we can't air. But and
then if there's anything like later on, if you've already said you're like no, leave that out, just let us know, and by all means,
not live, heavily editable.
Yep,
that's all good. One other quick question: do you guys all? Because I just don't know much about y'all. But you guys come from Christian backgrounds? Like what's the general makeup here?
Yes, we're all from Christian backgrounds. Okay. 3 of us are Christian and I am not. Okay. But I still have a deep affection for all the things that we share together. So that's kind of where we are and how we come together.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just as because I know you know these bands, we got started thanks to the guys Reese Roper and Joe Yerke. Yeah. They do a podcast together, and then we met all through that. And then we just decided to continue the conversation, and we kept going. So
it's cool.
That's how we started up. So it's kind of like a community. It's a hangout, and we like to see it as like a nice hanging out, like at a coffee shop or something. So we talk about everything and anything.
Love it.
Yeah. Should we do a quick round of introductions of us hosts since you don't know us very well?
Sure.
My name is Brock. I like records and I hold records up on the internet, and I have appreciated Phimore over the years, along with many others. But I'm from Oregon, and I'm currently on a work trip in Iowa.
Hey, all right.
I'm not too far from you, right?
Well, I'm in Oklahoma, but I grew up in Iowa.
Oh, but you grew up in Iowa.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a Hawkeye.
There we go.
By blood.
Love it. It's a nice state. I've enjoyed it. Who's next?
I'll go. I'm Pete. I'm originally from New York, way up in the Adirondacks, but now I'm in Rhode Island, and because I have to, 500 feet away from Massachusetts because it's all connected. And I look at the pictures that Brock posts on the internet of him holding up records. So, yeah,
me too.
Yeah, no, I go way back with music and everything. So it's a good time.
I'm Jared. I'm in North Carolina. And like the other guys, kind of grew up youth group kids, listening to the music we all like to talk about on here and enjoy. So it's good.
And then I am Josh. I'm filling in tonight for Kevin. So I'm not typically here, but just to say, I started listening to the Pickle and Boot Shop from the beginning, and then I've listened to a Pickle Home Companion from the beginning, and grew up listening to Christian music. So just part of the culture. Cool. And I'm glad to be here tonight.
Yeah, we're stoked Josh is here. He's a big member of the community from Pickle and Boot Shop, and then has kind of really latched on to what we do, and also he's a big fan of Phimore. So we're like, come on, Josh, let's come on. So so he's with us tonight, filling in for Kevin.
Awesome, good to meet all you guys.
Pleasure. Justin, do you have any questions before we jump in?
I don't think so. I think you guys have already answered them.
Sweet. Well, perfect. Again, thank you for joining us. It only goes off the rails from here, so hang on.
Oh, no.
All right. Was I going to spitball an intro, or did somebody else have one?
I think it's you, Brock.
Yeah, it's you. He's our introduction guy, so we like to put him on the spot.
That's right. Well, Justin Greiman is from the band Phimore, and the question has always been, is it full? Is it halfway full? Is it still being filled? Will it be filled more or not? No one can say for sure. However, what we can say is that Phimore brought so much in way of entertainment and edification to all of us as youths. Justin Greiman, thank you for joining the Pickle Home Companion.
Man, thanks for having me. Love to be here.
Brock with the dad jokes right out the gate. Wow.
I have no answers for you. I'm sorry.
I have no questions for him. Oh.
So we've all been listening. Josh, I'm curious because you're our honorary squid tonight, our guest host. You mentioned you're a big fan. You've been listening for a while. Do you have particularly favorite cuts and or albums from Phimore?
Oh yeah, the self-titled "Fishy" was my song, man. I remember like just riding in the car. I got a twin brother, and I think how it has like two different vocal parts. Like we would each take a different part.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great song. But I mean, just that whole record in general, man. You could like listen from beginning to end. Great album.
Thanks. So long time ago, we were kids, you know. The Fishy song. That's one regret of my life. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you like it. That's great.
Well, I mean, but the fact that it followed In My Boat, it was just perfect placement.
It's just so dumb.
And yet, I think at this point we all found our Fishy. That's the thing that that there was a Fishy for me.
There was. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
But I mean, hey, listen. I can't speak for the rest of the guys, but a lot of us were in bands that didn't make it. And I think we all had that one song that it was I mean, we were teenagers, you know?
We were, you don't know till you figure it out along the way. And then hopefully mature a little or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So, like I was in a band with some guys from church, and then one of our songs was called Sweetie Pie. So, I mean, the verses were about different kind of pies you could eat, but the chorus was about our girlfriend.
We're going to need that song.
Yes. No.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
we
man.
have our ways.
It's on a cassette tape, but you're not getting it.
Okay.
Brock will find your cassette tape.
I was going to say, we're planning the
it.
incursion now to go raid Joshua's home and pull out the cassette tapes.
I feel like if anybody could find it, it's Brock. From what I've seen online, you're kind of dogged in your finding of the old stuff.
Yeah, well, this is probably not the right time to bring up my questions about release dates for the other albums, because I know that I've recently completed. I'm trying to remember, who did I get them from? I bought like kind of a Phimore a collection completion pack, and so I picked up the later album, the later EP, both versions. I think of the Bare Truth album. So yeah. We don't usually jump in because I feel like you've probably done some sort of historical, kind of front to back before. But I am curious, just in terms of the whole you had. Was it like a 10-year jump on the Darkness or whatever for some of the 80s revival stuff? I feel like. Obviously it wasn't all 80s revival, but you guys kind of had, I feel like you were doing that before a bunch of other people were.
I don't know when, the Darkness are awesome. They were just really, really good. I don't know if they're still playing or not, honestly, but we started in 96. My brother and Brett, our drummer, were still in high school at the time. I was in Tulsa going to Bible school. And we just started it kind of in the middle of the winter. I'd come home and we started playing, and I don't know, I think we wrote Our Finest Hour, which is probably one of the songs you're thinking of that has kind of that sort of rock and roll vibe, and that was probably in 98-ish. So I have no idea. That it's been a long time. It's about a long time ago, so the timeline gets a little murky of what albums came out when and everything, but it's a fun time though. I mean, that we wrote that song in half an hour. I mean, it was just one evening. We played it the next night, and it was horrible, and we wrecked in the middle and had to start over. But we were like, you could do that sort of thing though when you were not a signed band and just playing local shows. You just write a song and then you play it that day. You're like, we wrote a song.
You workshop it on stage, yeah.
All the time.
That didn't work at all,
Was Phimore your first band, or had you had other groups together before that?
First real band. I mean, I had a goof around band in high school as well. Yeah. And honestly, I think, it's hard to remember. I think Riding in My Boat which is such a stupid. I mean, these songs are some of these are so dumb. Nonetheless, I think it's like I think I wrote that in high school in my other band called Melvin's Fury, which there's no recordings that exist. I have a couple of photographs. Is about it. It's about a long time ago. That was like
Melvin's Fury,
94-ish. Yeah.
You got to know that we were all in high school, middle school back then, so these songs were like awesome to us. So we hang on to them like, as that was. I mean, so sure, we all look back on these songs we might have written and we're like, oh, that was so dumb. But you look back on it from a fan's perspective, you're like, that was awesome. That was like, I mean, it was better than Marilyn Manson Eat My Girlfriend. No disrespect, but it was like, yeah, you hang on to those. So I respect where you're coming from, but respectfully, you hang on to that music.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I was just listening just the other day. So one of my boys' name is Benaiah, and his cousins call him Banana. And I started singing Banana Man the other day by Goaty Hook. And they're like, what? And I'm like, hey, just a second, I pulled it up, and they think it's awesome. And it's like, these are kind of corny too, but it's like, that's the song of our, that year's is,
That's wonderful. I'm a huge Goaty Hook fan, and we were so Kevin and Pete and I, along with Anna Kipps. Hey, Google, take Anna Kipps back to Goaty Hook.
Yes, please.
We all went and saw them when they did their show just about a month ago.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been there.
Where was that at? Something, yeah.
It was at Phantom Power in Millersville, Pennsylvania.
Right, okay. A very unlikely venue, honestly. Yeah. Like it's a very cool venue and a place that you would not expect it. Like it's South Lancaster, suburban Lancaster. Yeah.
Looks like you're going into like a shed, and then all of a sudden there's a big venue in there, or a small venue, but like a big stage and just like a hallway, and it was awesome.
It's an old theater. Yeah. Did you folks play with Goaty Hook?
We did. We toured with them in March. Yeah. It's weird the connections that we had because I feel like the bands we got to play with were so talented, wrote such great songs, intellectual songs. Yeah. We toured with Goaty Hook and Stavesacre for 2 months. I think it was awesome. March and April of 2000. And Hangnail came on that tour for at least a chunk of it. I don't remember if they were for all of it I think they were there for most of it. They might have missed the first day or two, but we had just finished. I mean, it's going back. It's a little hard to think about all this, but we'd recorded the album. We met Scott Saletta from Fan Mail,
right?
In Plank Eye, at Tom Fest Northwest. I think probably 90. It would have been 99, I suppose. And he 98 or 99. He we kind of worked out a deal where he wanted to produce a record for us, and so we went to record at the Green Room in California in Huntington Beach with Scott, and Chuck Cummings was from Dakota Motor Company. He actually was. I think he was the connection to Scott. Now I'm remembering now. It's been a little bit. We played at Battle of the Bands in Minneapolis in 97, and we played a Battle of the Bands at the Warehouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which is a pretty legendary. That shed you're talking about a minute ago. Yeah. The Warehouse was that for us. It was an old machine shop, and it was no air conditioning, no ventilation. They just rolled up the garage doors, and the sweat and steam would just come pouring out. And they had a kicking sound system in there, and just a plain old stage. And they had, just the best shows. Just the best shows. I saw MXPX for the first time there in the fall of 95. Just amazing. I saw Stavesacre played there. We saw Supertones there. They had these tooth and nail weekends when they had all the bands, and it was like, I remember we were half an hour late because my friend was late and she was getting ready. It just taken forever because we lived in Tulsa. It's about an hour drive. So we get up there just before doors were supposed to open, and I'm like, I get out of the car and I hear 90-pound wuss, and I'm like, it's 90-pound wuss, and we run, and they're like, thank you, good night, and I'm like, you
man,
like, never saw them, never saw them play. I was just like, but the rest of that lineup that night, I think that night MXPX, Supertones, and Stavesacre played amongst others. But we had Living Sacrifice, POD. So Tim, super cool guy, he was running it. And then, anyways, so just that was like kind of the local, really. It was just a cool place. Everybody played there. Best shows, just amazing, Why was I saying all that? There was a reason for that. Well, we got to know some of those guys. So
that was the scene,
battle,
yeah.
The battle of the band. So Chuck Cummings was, he was A&Ring for some Christian label, I don't remember. Offered us a record deal, and then kind of talked us out of it. He was just like, he was such a cool dude because he was just like, like he just cared about us. So it was genuine, like he really cared about us. And although he wanted to like sign bands and everything, he was also like, I think this is not the deal for you. I mean, like in my memory, again, this is nearly 30 years ago, but he's like, this is, I don't know if this is the right deal for you guys. Like you might be able to do something different that fits you better. He was no pressure. Oh, wow. I don't know if he ended up being a very great A&R guy because he was just so genuine and real, and he wasn't trying to squeeze us into something that wasn't right for us. But after that, a little later on, he connected us with Scott Saletta. Chuck wanted to produce the record. He wanted to be a part of it, but he thought Scott could produce it. And so that was the connection to the Green Room. So we got to work with Gene Eugene before he passed. Man, in the Green Room was just so we spent a week there on our week or 10 days on our own dime. We paid for it, hired Scott and the studio and recorded, and then kind of shopped that around. We really didn't have, so I think in a little bit, we're going to talk about the cornerstone of 99, which was, I think, that story that kind of kicked this all off. But leading up to that, we were just about to go record. We recorded a week on our own with Scott, and they took that record and started shopping it around. And we didn't have a record label. We wanted just to get a licensing deal or something, someone just to release the record. Yeah. And eventually landed on a licensing deal with 5 Minute Walk. And but through that, getting signed and everything, then we went back to the Green Room for another week. And man, I'm trying to think of the people we got to work with. The Prayer Chain guys, Joy Electric, Ronnie. Okay. And Prayer Chain was Andy Prickett.
Prickett, yeah. And Campuzano.
And then the other guy from Lassie Foundation.
Lens?
Nope.
Frank Lens? No.
Singer of Lassie Foundation.
Oh, gosh.
I think he was in Prayer Chain too, though.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm not going to get it. I know I'm
not. We got Jeff
Wayne Everett. I got it.
Wayne Everett. There it is.
Yes. Okay, back on. Okay, so when we went back to the Green Room after getting signed, we went back to do some more stuff, and along the way there, and I don't remember which session because it was a couple two or two and a half weeks total time, but we worked with Eric Campuzano, Wayne Everett. Wayne Everett sang background, high vocals on "Living on a Prayer," which was really
nice.
Good. I don't even know if these guys are credited in the liner. I mean, I don't even know
because I don't remember that. Right?
I don't know if we did or not. I wish we had. If we didn't, who knows? Ronnie Martin played some synths or keys on something. There was just, the Green Room was such a cool place because there was just people coming and going at all times. Even the guy that did the album, the photography for the album, the inside pictures, he was just stopping by to drop off some prints for Gene or for somebody, and we started talking to him, and we're looking through his portfolio, and he's got like Meg Ryan and Jack Nicholson, and like, I mean, he's like this super stud photographer in LA, and he had this crazy metal box with these lights kind of shining through it, and we were like, whoa, that's really cool. And it was for like these pro wrestler WWF guys, and we were like, whoa, we want to do that. And he was like, okay, well, I still have those props at my studio. So we literally we paid him, I don't think we paid even more than $500, and it was literally just for the film developing and scanning. And he didn't make a dime. He just said, oh, I'd love to photograph you guys. So we went to his studio in this super cool artsy area. Had this flat with like this, he lived upstairs, and it was like this big open studio space, and took the photographs. And then, a few weeks later, we get a message from him, and we're about to release that maybe it was later than that, but the photos were already going to art for the record and everything. And he was like, man, I just remembered I can't use those photos because I had an agreement with the WWF or whoever it was that we can't use those. And so he's like, if it's okay with you. So he spent like all weekend. We said, well, we're going to print like on Monday. And it was like Friday. He spent all weekend photoshopping the stripes from being horizontal in the original photographs to vertical, these vertical stripes.
Oh, wow.
And he just did that for free. Like we didn't, I think we hopefully credited him in the album, but like just a super cool experience. We walked in the back room of the Green Room, And on the floor are the 2-inch tape reels. There's just stacks of them laying around, and it's like Starflyer's Americana is just sitting on the floor, and I'm like, that's I love that album. It was like, and it was the masters. It was like the original 24-track master, raw,
that's incredible
tracks of that. Yeah. And it was just like everywhere we went, there was just like history and like all the really cool stuff. And we're just these 3 pretty idiot kids from Iowa that are just, along this ride, just having a blast and grateful, but also don't really realize how cool it is sometimes too. Like when you look back, you're thinking like, we didn't deserve any of that. Like we were, okay. So even I remember being in the studio and recording, and I had oh man, it's just, I think back about stuff and I'm just like, I'm such an idiot when I was young. I'll be looking at myself.
We all do.
40 more years and be like, man, you were such an idiot when you were in your
Part
40s.
of being young, I think, unfortunately.
That's my life.
Yeah. But I had I thought my guitar tone was so cool. I had a Boss Metal Zone, and I went into some stupid tube amp, and I went to the green room, and Gene Eugene is he's been a part of so many amazing bands that I've loved and listened to. He's been recorded so many amazing albums, and he listened to my tone and he's like, and I'm like, this is the sound I want to use, and he's like, how about instead we use this Fender Bassman, is it a combo? I don't remember. It was Social Distortion. He said Social D had auditioned like 50 some amps and picked this amp, and they left it at the studio after they finished recording one time, and why don't we try this amp instead? And I played through it. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good, and I'm like, so we went with that amp. But it was like, I listened back to my tone before that, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then we're recording, we're actually tracking, and Gene's so gracious, so kind, just a amazing, sweet dude. And we're playing. He's like, what? Let's record with a click track. We'd never heard of a click track, played with the click track in our lives. Again, just dumb.
Sure.
Tempo's kind of flexy.
So oh my gosh. So he's like, well, sure, we'll do that. If that's what you want to do, we'll do that, So we start playing, and then we're like, whoa, stop. Hey, Gene, the click's speeding up. And
the click is wrong.
He's like, no, it's not. We're like, no, it's definitely speeding up. We're like, oh, And so we just had to learn a lot. But he was so kind, and like, he even gave us space. Like there was one song when we were like, this would be really cool to have like these tubular bells, like bong, 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 like the kind you hit with a mallet, He was like, oh yeah, so he's calling all around LA trying to find a set of tubular bells that we can rent and bring into the studio to record. And we ended up just doing it on a keyboard. He found some patch that was good enough and tuned it up, and it worked fine. But he just allowed us that, I would make suggestions, and he wouldn't just be like, you're dumb, just let me do this. I've had decades of experience in this, and you're stupid. He was just so kind and allowed us to be creative in our own lame way, but kind of also nurture us in a better way. And really, really a great experience. I'm so. Gosh, I was out there a few years ago I was filming at some conference in Southern California, and I was like, man, I got to see if I can find where that place was. And I drove by, and it's just a house in an average little neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I was like, I found the house, and I'm like, that's it. And it was cool to have been. There's a band here in Tulsa called Esterdrang, which has produced amazing music since day one. Yeah. Like they are true artists. They're so good. I go to church with Kyle, the bass player, and I've known them for years and years and years. We played in that Battle of the Bands at Bartlesville. We played against them, like we competed against them. That's when we became friends. And then we've got photos of us like they're on stage, and I'm in the back of the room standing on my chair behind the merch table, like losing my mind at how cool they were,
Awesome.
Awesome. So like they recorded at the green room, and it's like they deserve to be there because they're freaking great band, just artistic and everything that music is supposed to be. And we're just like banging on stuff like, hey, yeah, we get to record here too. It's just like, it's not fair, but when I'm really, really, really grateful, it's a really cool experience. So we finished. I'm just talking a lot here, so I just
you're good.
That's good.
And we're just listening. This is great. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
We left the studio. This would have been spring. So it was probably beginning of March of 2000. We recorded for a week or so more. We went back and recorded with Gene and did some extra stuff that we needed to finish out the album. And, great recording session. It was awesome. We leave the studio, we give Gene a hug because Adam again was going to play at Cornerstone that summer. And I'd never seen them play. I saw Lost Dogs one time at the warehouse. Never seen Adam again. So
Gene was in both those bands.
Yep. So we gave Gene a hug and we're like, man, I'm so excited to see you. Well, he's like, we'll see you in July, just a few months, And so we left. We flew to Atlanta, I think, and got on the first night of tour, a couple nights of tour. We weren't long, less than a week with Stavesacre and Goaty Hook, and we got a call from Scott that Gene had had a brain aneurysm and died in his sleep, and we were just like we were just left there like just days before. So that was a really hard one because we hadn't known him like most people that knew him had known him for years. We just known him just a couple of weeks, but like you create a bond with somebody, and it was like. It's just it was a loss for everybody,
For sure. And you had just had that experience. And did you say, was it your first studio experience?
Yeah, our first real studio. I mean, we goofed around and recorded our own stuff and that was the first like legit
first time
studio.
being produced and engineered. And and so I mean those are really like strong connections. You spent a lot of time with him in that time, and so like that's a strong bond, and like you say, he wasn't a jerk, he was kind to you, and so those are good associations and good feelings from the experience. So it makes sense, it would hit you real hard.
So miss him. I was listening to Adam again a lot shortly after that. You actually, when we left the studio, I started listening to Adam again because I just had never even heard that stuff before. So it was just there's a lot of memories wrapped up in that time.
Sure.
So,
Was that was Homeboy the name of the record? I mean, they had a whole series of records, but like I remember that one in particular being like just very, very authentic and very real in ways that you didn't get from the industry at that time.
Yeah. I still have the CD. I need to dig it out because it's been a long time since I've listened to it, but it would sure bring back a flood. I know.
Yeah, and you dove in. You were listening to it kind of like posthumously. You're like, I got to listen to all the Adam again.
I hope that I was listening to it prehumously, but I can't. I honestly can't remember. I feel like I left the studio and got the album and was like digging it, and then but I don't know. I might have got it after he passed. I just can't remember.
Sure. Well, it's like Mike Knott passed away just this last year.
Yeah.
And there was so much of his stuff I had never heard. And I knew him from the Kush project, which I think was also a Green Room record. Yeah. Along with like a lot of his other stuff. The stories about not like trading gear or whatever. And Gene just like being very gracious about running tabs for Mike because Mike wasn't always able to pay for it, but Gene was always like, Mike's got to record, he's got to put this stuff out.
Yeah, there was a funny story about Gene at his funeral because I think Gene understood.
Yeah,
because he somebody was given a eulogy or something, I don't remember exactly, but I remember hearing about this later because we were on tour and weren't able to get to the funeral, but somebody asked, how many people does Gene owe money to? And like every hand in the house. And everybody laughed. It was like, it was such an endearing moment that like,
that's amazing.
We miss Gene and he owes us all. It's fine.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So you've said like those were youthful songs, right? And maybe now you're like, but you had the courage to form a band and like play. All of us like music or whatever, but like what gave you the courage to say, let's do this, like actually form a band, let's go to a recording studio? Because that was, if I'm getting that right, that's pre a label deal, like a record deal?
Yeah, we did that on our own. It's hard to pinpoint. I know something I'm really grateful for is my brother and I, Cale, who's the bass player and other singer of the band, our parents they just always were encouraging. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I always felt like anything I wanted to do, I could go do it, just based on them saying, "Yeah, just go do it. You can do it. Why not?" It wasn't. There was never any pressure to. I mean, really, truthfully, I think that's one of the great things that I have. One of the real privileges of my life is parents that believe in you, parents that number one stay together. I mean, they're still married. They love each other. They demonstrated that in front of us. That was such a precious gift, honestly. But they also there was no pressure to go to become an attorney or an architect or something. It was like, you want to go live in a van, go do it.
Attorneys don't make records.
They just have always been that way. I want to be that kind of dad to my kids. Like I want to encourage them, point them towards things that they are gifted in, or that they have a future in. But at the same time, if you believe in yourself and you want to do it, go for it. There's nothing nothing that'll stop you. I mean, if you just go after it yourself. So we just had this, I don't know, we had this sort of invincible mindset that like, why not? Why don't we just go do it? And we didn't really. And I think the part of that maybe that can feel entitled or can feel like just arrogant, but we were pretty humble overall. I think I don't think we realized that we shouldn't have the doors open to us, that we didn't deserve those. We were just like, cool, another door open, let's go do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was just more enthusiasm and just excitement about doing it, rather than judging if we really deserved it or not. Because really, looking at it, we really didn't, and that's. But we didn't really know that we didn't, and so we were just excited to just charge ahead and just expected doors to open for us, and they did. And
fortune favors the bold. Yeah,
that's right.
No,
it's like either nobody deserves it or everybody deserves it, right? It's like it's something like that, where people who have the vision for some sort of creative outlet, they have songs that they've written, they've got something they want to display, something they want to perform for the world. I feel like anybody who's done that, like the confidence to release your own music is that alone is the merit that you need to perform in front of people. The people that don't get deserve it, and I'm not going to say that, because there are a lot of talented singers that sing other people's music or write other people's music, but like I feel like there's a special qualification of like, yeah, you deserve to be out there because you made this and you want it out there, and that's all it takes.
Maybe so. I don't know. I just look at so many people that write such amazing music, and I'm like, gosh, I want to have done something better. I want to be there. And there's moments. The thing is that I'm really hard on myself for the first good chunk of our thing. We did get better. We really did. We started, after we left the studio, we immediately started playing with the click track live. Like our drummer had a click in his ears every show from then on. And then, and some of our biggest fights were, there was one night that Brett left the mini disc player with the click track in Bakersfield, California, and we were like in Fresno or something, and I'm like, we're walking onto stage, and he's like, oh, by the way, guys, we don't have a click track tonight, and I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I left it last night, and we don't have it anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we don't have a click track. It's like,
you left our rhythm in another city.
It's like, yeah, it's gone. It's back there, And it was like, this was right as we were walking on the stage, and I'm like, oh, so mad. It's like, but anger is good. Anger is good fuel for a show.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Oh yeah, you play. Yeah,
you
much
play
more
faster.
Probably extra studly that night,
That's right. That's right. The rage. Yeah.
but we did, we really, you face those moments when you start realizing how badly you've been doing things, and then, you want to be better. And so you work really hard to be better. And eventually we tightened up a lot,
right.
And because I look at old, definitely odd, like recordings, old CDs and stuff, and it's hard to listen to. Later stuff I definitely like better. Live footage from like tour from 02, 03, we toured with Bleach, Holland, and Reliant K. Really fun tour.
Nice.
The Back to the Few tour, and it was all it was Back to the Future. It was what's the theme song for that? I'm all blank now. Anyway, it was all the music and yeah. So the soundtrack from all those movies. And it was a really, really fun tour. And, I see footage from that, and like we were playing pretty tight, like we finally like dialed things in a little bit,
well, and I can tell you, I got to see you guys on that tour, and I made a subtle dig at Reliant K earlier, and it was very subtle because they talked about how they hate playing Marilyn Manson Ate My Girlfriend, and we were talking about songs that that you're not necessarily proud of. He's talked about saying that, so that's why I put that dig in. But I went on. I saw you guys on that tour, and awesome. I will say that you had an energetic live show, and you definitely I didn't get to see you years ago. Before that, but loved that tour.
Cool.
So that was so props on that.
Thanks.
And so you're right. you got better, even though I didn't know what it was before then.
You don't worry about what was before. Don't worry about that.
No, it was great.
That's right. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past.
In my mind's eye, you're always like that. No, but it was good. Great tour.
What show were you at? What city was it?
In Buffalo.
Buffalo. I remember that.
Yeah.
But we played Buffalo a lot. We never played New York. We never played Manhattan. We never played anything cool. We played Buffalo every freaking tour.
Yeah.
Like,
I got to see you guys again. Yeah.
I remember driving past the Big Apple, seeing it on from the turnpike and being like, there's the city. We never
then you kept going 6 hours and now you're in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo. So many times.
I spent many years out there. And so I think now that I'm thinking about it, I did see it a couple times, but I remember the Ryan K tour because I was in college back then and it was very memorable. It was a good
That was
time.
fun. I mean, it was a cool tour because it was like 1,500, 2,000 seat venues and sold out almost every night. I mean, it was just like a great vibe. I mean, it was real okay. You know what I mean? They were the big draw, but it was, man, the Bleach guys. I've talked to my wife about the Bleach guys.
Bleach guys.
Just genuine, like kind of redneck, kind of hillbilly, kind of rock and roll, kick each other in the nuts kind of guys.
It's our kind of guys right there.
Open their wallet, and give you everything in it just because you need a meal. Like I remember sitting next to those guys and being downtown in cities, and they just sit down next to a homeless guy and just talk for like an hour and just love on them. Just loved people. They love the Lord, but they also were just genuinely gracious, good people, and I've really, really enjoyed. I haven't talked to them. I don't think I've seen them since the end of that tour. I can't remember. Maybe at a festival or something. But just really, really great guys.
Are you going to come to Furnace Fest this year?
Go ahead, guys. Talk about Furnace Fest.
Furnace Fest.
3 of us will be there to see Bleach in October. Yeah, they are.
Bleach is doing a reunion.
That's awesome. I might have to make it out there for that. It would be.
It pulled our guy Josh. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Justin, you talk about that whole tour being sold out. I'm from South Carolina, and I remember vividly like going to buy tickets for that tour and it saying that it was sold out.
Oh, did you get to go? Did you ever find tickets, or you didn't get to go?
No. I didn't get to go, and I mean that. So like I've never seen Bleach live. I never got to see you guys live, and I never saw Holland live. So that was one of those tours. Like that was one of my big regrets, man. But
yeah,
you always miss. It's the ones that you don't see that you regret the most.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it was fun. It was a cool one.
But I mean, that time in the early 2000s, man, I think it was just a different time for Christian music. It's nothing like that now for our kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I feel like you guys fit right in. Like guys like Ace Troubleshooter and Calibretto 13. I mean, there was something about just relationships and writing those songs. And I mean, I was in college at the time, but I was in love with these CDs because you were speaking right to where I was at that time.
That's awesome. Ace Troubleshooter was what we knew them from way back in Minneapolis. I mean, we played with them in Minneapolis way before any of us were ever signed or touring or anything. They were just teenage kids like when we were, It was exciting to see them get signed too. It kind of felt like, you meet people along the way, and it's kind of everybody's kind of like, well, gosh, if they can do it, we can do it. It's like you start all like starting to make it a little bit, and it was. And you see each other out on the road. There's so many funny connections. When I look back, there was a festival called Sunshine Festival in Minnesota. What the town's name? I don't remember now. Not a huge festival. I mean, I think there's probably 15, 20, 25,000 people. There's not as big as some of the really, really big ones, but it was like always our favorite festival because it kind of felt hometown to us. It was just a few hours from where we lived. It was very family friendly. It wasn't. Cornerstone was awesome, but Cornerstone sucked too. I mean, it was so dirty. It was so sweaty. It always rained. There was mud everywhere. You couldn't shower. He was just like, I love Cornerstone, and I also hated being there. It's this love-hate thing. Sunshine was just like green grass. It was like this beautiful fields that were just...
Wilmar, Minnesota.
Wilmar. Yeah. Okay. So I remember being there as a teenager, maybe 18, 19. We might have started the band. We might not have. I can't remember. But I remember... the Supertones had played, and then the Supertones left that night, and they were driving out. And a lot of times the bands would drive out between, there's this windy road, all the tents are everywhere. And I remember the Supertones driving out in this big blue semi, and they were all hanging out the windows and honking the horn and waving, and everyone was cheering. And I was like, man, that's so cool. I was like, someday I'm going to do that, yeah, right. And then 4 or 5 years later, we owned that blue semi.
You're doing it.
Yeah, so like
you're the guy hanging off the semi.
It was Audio Adrenaline. Bought it and converted it from a semi into like an RV. Supertones toured in it. W's toured in it. I don't remember somebody else in between there. Frank Tate from 5 Minute Walk had bought it, and it was sitting parked in Wyoming, and it was gutted. We found out about it, bought it, rebuilt it, was touring in it, and I remember
in Wyoming.
Well, we did so many stupid things, but like Brett, our drummer, you didn't. So this semi was registered as an RV, so you didn't have to have. It's a full-on class.
No commercial license.
It was a full. The front half of it was a normal semi with a big sleeper. It was a full 9-speed. Air brakes, the whole deal, but it didn't bend. Like, I didn't have a separate trailer. It was a straight truck. So it was a 26, 28 foot box. So it wasn't quite as long as a normal full semi, and it didn't bend in the middle. It was just straight. But other than that, it was a full on. But it was registered as an RV, so you could drive it with a driver's license, just a normal car driver's license.
Yeah, it's got a bed and a bathroom.
It's a great idea.
That's all you need.
Yeah, so we sent Brett to Wyoming to pick it up. He'd never been in a semi before. And he drove it back to Iowa, where we had friends, and had breakdowns along the way. He had to have like some major mechanical work done on it. It was pretty wild just to get it back to Iowa. But we got it to Iowa, and then had some friends, welders, weld up the bunks, and we built it all out and everything. So we get down to Oklahoma. My first time driving it, we'd finished recording in a studio in Oklahoma. I took it for a lap around a residential neighborhood, and then we got on the road and drove to the East Coast. And I drove my second time driving. I drove it for like 4 hours, and then overnight shifts and all that. My second time behind the wheel of that was in rush hour in Atlanta, Georgia, in the middle of downtown.
Oh, no.
I'm driving this
scary.
That is terrible.
Scary.
We were stupid. I mean, we did the dumbest stuff. But that blue truck. So that blue truck was awesome, and we had that in Cornerstone. And I remember we were leaving Sunshine in Wilmer. And this is several years later. And I remember we were driving out and our windows were open, and we weren't like hanging out the windows, but I remember like waving and kids were cheering, and I was driving and we were leaving in this blue semi. And I'm like, dude, it was such a kind of surreal
We're doing
moment.
it. Yeah.
We're the
like,
Supertones.
We are. No, not going that way. But just that we got to do some of these things that just seemed like dreams just years before, just a couple of years before, and suddenly it wasn't planned, it wasn't thought out, it was just like, whoa, this is the blue truck. It was pretty wild, pretty wild moment,
Yeah. Speaking of the Supertones, did you ever get scouted by Tooth and Nail, BEC? Like, was there ever any like action in that direction? Yeah.
We talked to
not asking you to air dirty laundry or whatever, if there is some, but just kind of curious. Like, the band's got a lot of offers from a lot of people back in the day.
We did. So when we'd recorded that first record on our own, and then we started shopping it around, and we met with Brandon in
Brandon Ebel.
I think we met him in Seattle. Maybe he was in California at the time. I don't remember. But I remember we sat down. Well, I don't remember if he came into town to meet with us, or if we were in town and met with him. I just don't remember, But we really wanted a licensing deal. We did not want to sign a record deal. We were all hung up
distribution,
on being independent. We just had this album we thought we'd finished, and we wanted to just release it to the world. We just needed somebody to release it. So we don't want any money. We just want to just license it, one record. And nobody wanted to really do that. Actually, Brandon might have. He might have been open to it. I don't remember, but we met with him and talked with him, and I don't know, like Tooth and Nail was always the cool label to be on. I don't remember if he offered us a deal. I feel like he was open to it. I feel like maybe he offered us something. I don't think we ever got a contract. I think it was just a verbal kind of this is what it could look like sort of thing. But when we finally did, we met with Frank Tate, and we'd become pretty good friends with Five Iron and Smiley Kids back in the day. And so 5 Minute Walk really felt like the right fit for us and kind of our vibe and our people and everything. And he didn't want to do a licensing deal. He only wanted to do a record. He
contract.
Wanted a 3-record contract. And we're like, no, we wanted a licensing deal. No, we went back and forth. So finally we said, well, if you're going to do a deal, then we just want, as much as we can get up front. We want an advance, and we want blah, blah, blah. And every album has to be a bigger budget. And we had a few things that our attorney, said we needed to do. And so then we did the one record with them, and then they were starting to like kind of, it felt like they were kind of winding down. And so the next album, when it was time for to do a second album, Frank was like, we'll do another album with you, but it has to be the same budget as before or like a lesser budget, because they just weren't going to spend any more money. And we were like, or he said, or you can just go for free. And so we hadn't recouped. Like we took as much advance as we could. And this is again one of those things where you look back and you feel like, was that like, were we fair to them? I don't really know. I mean, when you're a kid in a band, you feel like everybody in the business is the enemy. Like all the labels, even though like we're working with them, they're still trying to everybody's trying to screw you over. So you just like are super because you hear all the stories and everything, and
it seems like Frank is one of the few people not trying to screw people, right? Yeah.
Frank was such a good guy. I mean, like his heart was really for ministry. And so I look back and think, man, I wonder if he just thinks those kids just tried to take all the money they could get and screw me over. And man, I hope not. I haven't seen him in decades, so
no,
I don't know.
But Brock, did you hear Derek Webb? He made this comment when I saw him that the music industry is the only place that gives you a loan, and when you pay them back, they own what you purchased.
Really true.
So when you look at it, I'd never heard it framed that way, and I was like, that's kind of a scam.
No, it's a wicked business.
It's crazy.
It also sounds like, Justin, you said that you had some legal review about this. Like you were like having someone else look at it, because I feel like all the stories, at least about Tooth and Nail, all the stories end up being about like bands that had no idea what the contracts meant. And then they were like, oh, we have to do another album, and you're all plank eye or what have you. Yeah.
Yeah. And MXPX, I know, had a really rough time, with Tooth and Nail. And I don't know those guys personally, but I just have heard the stories and everything, and so we were real cautious about that. There was this great book called Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. And man, I just devoured that. I don't have any idea. The laws have changed so much now. I have no idea what the world is like now. Streaming just is so different. It's like, it's radically different. It was very much about albums when we did all that. But yeah, I read, so I was pretty familiar just by reading that book. And then our attorney, Mark Maxwell, was from Tennessee, I think. Nashville area. Really cool guy. I feel like he also gave us a really good deal. Like we probably were way too insignificant of a band to work with, but he, for whatever reason, worked with us and represented us. And it turned out to where we didn't get screwed over. I just hope that we didn't screw over Frank and 5 Minute Walk, because I don't honestly know if maybe we did. I don't know. Like you just don't, I just feel like I don't want to be just blame it all on being a kid and not knowing, but I also I don't know what I didn't know at the time,
Of course. Right. I feel like if you're asking the question, like you can't possibly be the sole reason, at least, like there's not,
so. It's funny. I'm finding about that so many, like, okay, so I'll be turning 49 this fall. So, I mean, like, I'm always like trying to remember names, and like things just feel like hazier now so much. And I'm like, and I have, I work, so I'm in video production now. And one of my clients is a medical training company. They produce content for American nursing students. And we filmed hundreds of days. Just so much footage with them. It's been a cool job, been a cool business, but we're filming things on like, Alzheimer's and different things. And I'm like, how do you know, like, if things are slipping, or like if you're I'm trying to think how to frame this, but like basically they said if you're asking the question, if your memory is getting bad, then you're doing okay. Like if it's when you don't know that your memory is slipping, and it is, then that's when you need to be concerned. And I'm like, okay, good.
When you lose self-awareness,
yeah.
Right. So I found more and more in my this middle part of my life where it's kind of like, if you're aware of that there's a problem, you're okay. It's good. It's pretty normal.
My mom, I talk about it on this podcast. My mom asks the same question over and over and over, but she acknowledges that she asked the same question over and over and over. So I know she's still there, and she's she hasn't slept.
Totally fine.
So yep, exactly. So it's all good. One note on Frank Tate: he now owns Soulfest in New Hampshire. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
It was called Inside Out Soulfest. I don't know if it
still
is.
Soulfest. Yep. It's shortened out of Soulfest.
Okay.
Or the Soulfest. But either way, it went through a couple different locations.
Yeah.
And now Frank owns it for this year. This is going to be his first year coming up this summer. So, hey, a little 5 minute walk revival stage.
Man.
Yeah.
That would be insane. Cool. But yeah, so we're excited up here in New England. Kevin's also a New Englander. And so that's another place I probably saw you guys was Soulfest.
Yeah,
because I went to that every year.
Help me remember where was it at? It was in New Hampshire, but what?
Originally it was at Loon Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
And then it went on to Gunstock.
And we never went to that one, I don't think.
Yeah, so I saw you way back. That was so way back at Loon. It was still Inside Out Soulfest.
Okay.
And I know you guys were probably on one of the compilation CDs that they put out and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great time. I worked a little bit with Word of Mouth Records for a short time. They had a small stage there. I think it was after your time there. But yeah, awesome venue. Just you want to see bands up close and personal. Go to Soulfest way back in its early days.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I was saying I don't have specific memories. I have more like color feelings about things, but like I have a very positive feeling about Inside Out Soulfest. I don't remember anything specific about it.
Yeah, well,
but I remember it being a good experience. You know,
it was not a bad experience.
No, nothing stands out like it's a bad thing. It's all good.
Good, yeah, because Inside Out Soulfest was a whole experience. I mean, Soulfest later on got a little, and that's not a slight on them, it's just how you survive, got a little bit more corporate.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's kind of starting to come back to where it used to be. So
that's awesome.
And now they're in Massachusetts. They're doing they're at a fairground. I think it's Greenfield. Oh gosh, that's gonna. You're not alone on this. Yeah, but it's somewhere in Massachusetts on a fairgrounds this year. But it's all within the New England area. So it's cool. It's cool to see where Frank's going to take it.
That's awesome. I'm glad to know he's still in the business too, because I think when we finished, our second album, we would have recorded like in 2000, end of 2000, early 2001, and I felt like he was really winding the label down. I don't know if he had many more releases after that. Maybe none more. I don't know, but I think he had owned a lawn care business or some kind of a.
We've heard about this, the Shiny Lawn Company,
something like that. Not just lawns. Yeah. It was like
like landscaping
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But I mean, I think he was kind of doing that, and I didn't even know if he was in business anymore. You know, the last thing I remember hearing about him was Cale, my brother, was on eBay for something and came across our 2-inch tape, again, reel-to-reel recordings, our master recordings of our first album. Our masters on eBay, and they were like $75 or a couple $100 or something. It was just stupid. Well, we were about to. So Cale says, I should call Frank because I'm like, what are the legal, like when you own your masters? I'm like,
I bought them on eBay.
I can do whatever I want. If you physically have them, I'm like, is it actually the physical tape masters that you own, or is it the intellectual property that's contained in those tapes? We were all in this like 30 minutes of like, whoa, what if because I think at that point he still owned, probably still does. I haven't looked at the contract in so long. I don't remember. I think we had a co-pub where they owned half of the publishing, half of the publisher's share of the publishing. And I was just all like, my mind was trying to remember what's it like? Because this is way after we quit playing. And I was like,
they own the left channel and you own the right.
No. So if we could we get by with just the right? So we were going to buy those. Well, Cale called Frank, and Frank was like, no, those are stolen. Like some kid in his youth group stole them from the church or somewhere where they're being stolen, and was listing all this stuff on eBay. And so we didn't end up buying them. So they're out there somewhere.
Get involved?
I don't know. I think probably
that means we need to like kickstart a thing to buy him from this kid.
I imagine
and then
Frank
we figure out who he is. We get his return address. We like call the cops. I don't know. Is that how you want the story to end?
We Ocean's 11 style, and we
go. There we go. We go to his house and we take the rest of them. Yeah. Okay.
I'm in.
I think we can kickstart this. Let's do it.
All right.
It's ethical when you steal back stolen property. It's legal.
I think so.
It's all fine.
Right.
It's a double negative situation, right? Which makes it a positive. Yeah.
I like it. So we do not own those masters, is what my point to get to.
Oh man.
Let me call my lawyer first.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
incredible. Man. Justin, and Jared, did you have another question?
No, I was curious about 5 Minute Walk, but you already talked about that, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
What led you there.
Yeah. And Josh, you?
Oh, I'm trying to find the tapes on eBay.
Okay. All right.
He's getting them back so he can put them on vinyl. Here we go.
Good deal. Yeah.
I'm about to make a phone call. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Justin, I was just going to ask you about the subsequent records after 5 Minute Walk, because the Bare Truth, which there was a nipple controversy, right? We got to ask about that.
Yeah.
And then the last one, the EP, was Demolition. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just said, like, you're not like terribly fond of fishy yourself, even if we are.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you felt like you kind of developed, and obviously the road dogging and kind of developing your chops on the road and tightening up some of your songs and arrangements and whatnot. I would imagine that's reflected on the later material. But what do you love about those last records?
I sure hope it's reflected. There's moments there's a lot on the Bare Truth that I'm like, oh, just cringe to, just makes you cringe on the inside to listen to or think about. But there was moments on there that I, there was, I can't remember. It's just so funny. Like, I don't remember what songs were on what albums anymore. So I remember watching MXPX at the warehouse and somebody saying, play such and such song. And they're like, whoa, do you remember that song? And they're like, I don't think and they were kind of like trying to figure it out. And I'm like, you guys are such liars. This is when I was like, 18. Like, you're such liars. You don't forget your own music, And so
Right.
here I am. Can't remember.
Turns out, yeah.
It turns out you can forget your own music and have to relearn it to try to play it. I think when we stopped trying to be fast and loud and as rowdy and just wrote what we wanted to write, rather, because I think there was Cornerstone of '99. I'm going in all these circles. I'm sorry.
No, please. I do want to talk about Cornerstone.
Cornerstone of '99 was we were not signed. We were not booked at Cornerstone, but we played there anyways. And I'll get to that story in just a minute. But my brother found a recording of that, and I watched it today because I knew we were going to be talking about some of this old stuff, and it was so horrifying to watch, and yet fun, because there was moments when I was like, oh, this is really fun, because there was hundreds of people, and it was like a really great vibe, but the music was so bad, and we were playing so fast and so out of control, and that was always our thing, was like just to be as fast as we could, just that the kind of polka beat of the punk rock stuff, just so fast. And it was like, it wasn't musical, it wasn't cool, it was energetic for sure, but when we played it poorly, it was just so sloppy and just not great. So when we stopped just trying to like be the fastest and the loudest and all that, and just wrote music that was more meaningful to us, I think that's when I started liking and being more proud of what we were doing, And so that's kind of a roundabout way to get to all of that. But like in the later albums, there was just moments. There was a song that had a Rhodes keyboard intro that I was really proud of. There was some lyrics where I could be really pretty vulnerable in my lyrics. And I don't think anybody probably realized I was being vulnerable, because I tend to really cover the lyrics with a lot of layers of smoke and obfuscation, so that it's very clear to me, and I feel like I'm just being really vulnerable to the world, but probably nobody has any idea what I'm talking about, and I'm great with that. But I'm able to then be kind of just sing kind of about vulnerable things, and feel like I'm exposing everything anyway. But when I got more comfortable being more personal and not worrying about stuff as much, and just playing what I wanted to play and doing what I wanted to do, and just stopped caring. Part of it, I think, is just maturity also. You stop caring about what other people think as much, and just like, I'm just going to go on stage and have the time of my life, and I don't care if nobody else cares, or if nobody else, I mean, I want them to. I do want to please people. Sure. I mean, I do want people to enjoy their night if they came to watch us. But I got to where I didn't. That wasn't the important thing. The important thing when I went on stage was like, I'm going to be on fire and I'm going to have a blast.
Awesome.
If you guys don't, then okay. I mean, it just didn't really matter to me as much anymore. And I think when you get to that place, it's a whole lot more enjoyable. Number one, you can write and do what you want to do, and you just stop worrying as much. That only happens though after some years of growing up. I don't think you can. If people can do that in their late teens and early 20s, they're pretty special, because I feel like that didn't. That's still happening in my life, where it's like I still do want to please people, but most of all, I mean, for me, it's really important to please my God, first of all, to please my wife. And then if everybody else can just go screw off, I don't care, Sure. And it's like really fantastic thing about being a grown up is that I'm having a great time. So I don't care what y'all think,
Yeah, that's a good place to be.
So
really,
and really, I do. I mean, that's kind of a braggy thing to say. I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm not scared of anything, but it's like, well, yeah, there's caveats to all that, but like for the most part, when you just stop worrying so much and just anyway, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, just in our conversation with you in this last hour, I see that you're not coming from it from a, screw everybody else kind of way. You're just coming from it where, hey, I respect where I'm at and I know my priorities, and then, we go from there.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best shows end up being when whoever's on stage is truthful, right? Which
Right.
I think you're saying that in maybe different words, but you're being honest.
Yeah.
Where I think anytime we're worried about the reaction, I'm not on stage, but just any kind of conversation, if you're choosing how you present yourself based on how you're going to be received, there's some level of hiddenness or guardedness, right?
Yeah,
and the best shows, the best music, the best art is an honesty that might not be well received, but there's a chance there that people really connect, right? Like it really works because you're telling the truth. So that's what I'm hearing you say is like being truthful more than like, I don't care. It's, I want to be honest out here. And
that's a better way of saying it. You're much better at this.
Well,
we're just interpolating from what you're saying. We're using context clues and bringing it together.
You guys are good at this. Man, I feel so much better about myself.
Right. Kevin used that as a soundbite.
I think that's why it matters to me. Is I want that at a show.
Yeah. Kevin, that's our intro clip. You guys are good at this. And Kevin?
Wow, I feel bad. This is like therapy. I don't even have ever been to a therapist, but I imagine this is what it feels like. It's so good, guys.
I'll send you a bill when we're all done here.
You're not the first person that said it. Oh, this is great. Okay. Guys, we should completely go to therapy.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is that it's all free.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Good healthcare plan right here.
Oh, that's so good.
Never mind what I said about the invoice. I won't send it after that.
That'd be for $0.
First one's free, right, Brock? That's how it goes.
That's right. Your first hit is always free.
That's how they get you. No, anyway. And now I have to ask because I bring this up and I'm on a streak. Were you ever approached about being on Extreme Days?
No.
No. I'm so sorry, but I this was the 2001 skater movie that came out the week after September 11th, and so all the this was I happen to have this on a shelf, and now it's by my laptop, so every episode I have to ask about it, so we can move on. But thank you. There's my clip.
There it is. Never was.
Nope.
There we go.
Only Extreme Days 2 coming to a theater near you.
The extremening, the extremer. Yeah.
Most extreme.
We should also ask, I suppose, but did you ever have a crush on a member of Point of Grace?
No.
Okay.
Did not.
The standard question for us.
And have I even lived? I feel like I haven't even lived at this point.
Nope. You're a human. You're good. A very side note, and then please, I'm loving. I just want to stop and say I'm absolutely loving all these old stories. So thank you for sharing these.
Well, you bet. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to have somebody to listen to because I don't ever tell. I haven't told these stories, or I say that. Then probably my close friends would be like, "Dude, you tell me these stories every time we hang out." I'm like, "Really? Do I?"
Well, you're welcome back anytime if there's any stories. I mean, we're not done by any means, but I'm saying like I've just been sitting here just listening to these stories, going, "This is what I wanted to know." Back then. So this has been very cool.
That's fun. Good.
Yeah. We're not done unless Justin wants to be done.
Yes,
if he wants to be done, he's like, "Hey, let me out."
There's so much more to talk about.
Yeah. Well, so next regular question.
You got it. I have a transition, guys. Okay,
go for it.
Josh has leaned forward. I think he has a question, and then we will compare band.
Okay.
I mean, if P has a transition, go right ahead.
No, Josh, go ahead. This transition can go anywhere.
Okay, so I'm just trying to fill in as Kevin here, and I feel at this point we would let Justin know that on a Pickle Home Companion we have voicemails.
Oh yeah,
and Justin, would you like to listen to some voicemails with us?
Yeah.
Josh, you're hired.
Yeah, you're good at this, Josh.
Yeah, Josh. Wow,
it's a good audition. Yeah.
Hey, after listening to 51 episodes, I know how it goes.
Well, thank you, Josh. And I think Josh isn't he auditioning for my position? I'm just here filling in for Kevin.
No, I'm good.
That's right.
Josh has a title that he'll learn about in a couple weeks.
Okay.
That episode hasn't come out yet. But anyway,
Oh, wait,
yes.
I mean, I haven't even printed up the flyers that we got to hand to people to throw away. So
yes, a couple weeks. You have a few weeks left.
I'll tell you what you are. You are now our Pickle Home Companion Street team. So there you are.
Justin, we, Josh, Pete, and myself and Kevin are going to see Squad 5-0 in 3 weeks in Savannah. So that's what we're talking about.
And I'll be sad about it because I live in Oregon.
But as it stands, anytime we all get together, there's 4 main hosts, but there's always one missing, except for at Furnace Fest. And always that's how it is. Always one is not with us. So that's just how it's got to be. But we have some very some specific voicemails. Actually, some are for you, my friend, as well. So
seriously,
yes, absolutely.
Okay,
put the word out.
So this is
all right.
Be fun.
Here we go.
First one.
What's up, Squid? Mr. Jason W. Davis again.
Jason.
I appreciate the valiant effort on trying to name my mystery song. Sorry, I'm not more helpful. Pete, if you're still looking, I appreciate it because it is still creeping in the back of my brain. But on to other things. Curious to know what your favorite horn sections are in ska bands. What ska bands have your favorite horn sections? And then what you think the best horn sections are, because they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. And I'll call back and leave another voicemail with my answers so I don't color your answers.
Wow, I like the way he thinks.
Keep up the good work. I'm proud.
Nice.
Jason W. Davis, once again, always thank you for calling. I am on a quest to find this song lyric. We should find that old voicemail and see if we can rehash that. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for calling. I am on a quest to find out what song that was. Go ahead, Brian.
And I should also say, Mr. Jason Davis, don't you live in Oregon? We need to meet sometime.
That's right.
Yeah.
But not now. You're in Iowa.
Right. Exactly.
That's your fault.
But yeah. So let's get back to the question. The question was, what are your favorite horn sections?
Horn sections. Are you a ska fan, Justin? You can be honest here.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't listen anymore. So I mean, I was a big fan of Five Iron. Kind of love them as people. I loved Supertones. Loved the Ivy League. Do you guys remember the Ivy League? Anybody?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah, they're going way back. They were a Tulsa band from late '90s as well.
Yep.
Did our very first tour with them. So
that's cool.
Awesome.
I didn't know
I got some great Ivy League
tour.
I got a great Ivy League story if we get to it. I don't interrupt the flow.
We don't stay on task well. Yeah. So you're good.
Okay.
No, I want to hear the story.
Should I do it now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Ivy League was our very first tour. They won that Battle of the Bands that we talked about at the warehouse. They won it. They were really, really good. They got to play at Cornerstone because one of the rewards for winning that was to have a stage at Cornerstone. So they played. They got tons of connections all over. So they did. They put together a 1-month tour and they asked us to go with them. And so they booked this tour. We were both independent bands. This would have been the spring of '99. So they won the tour band tournament in '98, played Cornerstone in '98, and then '99 we toured with them. So we had we watched Spinal Tap over and over and over on that tour. And so we were like watching our tour like kind of fall apart in the same way that Spinal Tap's tour was falling apart. Like it got really funny at times because we just had like stretches where like shows just kept canceling and things kept changing, and it was really funny. So we had a show in Iowa City, Iowa, and it got canceled. And so we were in this town, and it was the last night of last day of school. There was going to be this block party. We went to all the bars downtown, and they were all like, man, we've got bands playing already though. They're going to block off the entire street. There's going to be people everywhere. It's a street party all night. It's the last night. Tomorrow everybody packs up and goes home.
Right. So
we just drove all over town just trying to find some place to play. So we pull up to this late in the afternoon, early in the evening. We pull up, and there's this frat house, and there's just people everywhere in the yard. And I'm going to probably, if there was photos of this night, or video, I hope I never see them, because in my mind, it is just like a movie. It is such a great experience. So there's people everywhere, just spilling all the way out. We walk
Cameras
up,
moving out of the beach balls.
Oh my gosh. We pull up, we walk up to the front door, and we're like, hey, we're a couple of bands. We're on tour. Our show got canceled. We're just looking for a place to play. And these guys are like, standing there with their keg, and they're like, you guys are a band, and you guys are bands, and you want to play here? And we're like, yeah, we won't charge anything. We just want a place to play. And they're like, you want to play at our party? They're like, guys, the bands are here. The bands are here. And it was like, yeah. So they start like just gutting this frat house. Like they're carrying tables and sofas out over their heads. Like they clear out the entire common area in this frat house. We don't have enough gear. We don't have any PA or anything. So we used one of our guitar amps as the PA. And so Ivy League, which was a really, really fun ska band, they had a DJ. They also played saxophone, but he also was like freestyle rapping and everything. And so we just traded off. They play a couple songs, we'd play a couple songs. It was the best night. Like there was, and we were too, like they're from Oral Roberts University. So they were all super Christian kids. We were super Christian. This is just a normal frat party where there's just kegs everywhere and like red Solo cups, and every time people would be moshing, and like there was like literally just waves of beer splashing over us on the stage. At one point, the drummer is like, every time he hits the floor tom, like beer is literally like splashing in the air off of the puddle that's filled his. I'm not even joking. Like my guitar, I tipped my guitar, and beer was pouring out of the pickup holes. Like it was like I was shaking it out of the electronics. Like I was sticky head to toe. It was really, really fun. And
this is out of a movie for sure. So you're naming it very well.
So one of the Ivy League songs is it was the Magnum PI song. Dun 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 dun. And the ska band's playing. It's this great jam. And then Steven, who's the saxophone player, DJ, and also the freestyle rapper, just gets up and starts rapping. And he's just, I don't remember what he was rapping about or whatever, but it was just great party. You know, it was just great party. Everybody's loving it. And then there's right behind the drum set, behind this, because we're just in basically a huge living room, you know what I mean? Behind the drum set, there's this window. And so because it was a frat party, they told all the girls, you guys get to use the bathrooms, all the guys go pee outside. So
of course,
there's this guy standing right behind the drum set, super wasted, showing like maybe like chest up, like he's looking in the window, but you can't see from like the chest down. So he's totally decent, but he's out there peeing, obviously. And he's like looking in, and his eyes are half closed, and he's just like, you know, kind of jamming but watching but peeing, obviously. Steven's rapping, and Steven's like,
the flow state.
There's a man in the window, and the crowd's like, there's a man in the window, and everyone's turning and like pointing at him. He's like, whoa, what did
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was a blast. It was literally one of the funnest. And again, I hope, like, if I saw the video, I'd probably be like, oh, that was so lame, you know. But in my memory, oh my gosh.
Right.
It's memorialized.
It was the best, you know.
Yeah.
So
were you guys, I mean, the Oral Roberts, obviously there's some like conduct codes there. Were you guys like drinking, not drinking?
Oh, no. No, we never drank or did anything on the road. Like that was always and honestly, that turned out to be really good. We had a no Phimore policy for Phimore, which just meant that we don't smoke or drink or do drugs. Like, we just didn't do it.
Or go with girls that do.
Yeah. Smoke, drink, or chew.
No loose women.
Yeah, the old Wesleyan adage was don't smoke, drink, or chew, or hang with girls who do. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah. I didn't even know that. But
there
you go.
John
Wesley. It keeps you. I mean, we had some crazy experiences on the road with bands who did not follow that policy. And I can't even tell the stories because they're still.
Of course. Right.
Contracts.
I remember the end of one tour in specific that one of the members of the band did not make it home until the next day.
Yeah.
When they got let out of the drunk tank, and it was
there you go.
Vomit down the front of the shirt. It was it was such a funny. We were like, wow, we just slept in our beds last night. You know, like
it was a great time.
Where were you? Things got a little crazy last night, did they?
and you're talking about glad there's no video, or if you couldn't see video, it's probably better for some of those stories that they live in our mind, because you know it's those are so much better.
I think so. There's no social media because like when I watch old videos, I'm like, oh, it's just depressing sometimes, you know. And so it's like it can be this amazing memory. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. The Ivy League.
Yep.
That's cool.
All right. Favorite horn sections: Jared, Pete, Josh.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Taj Mahal trio just because there's like a ton of them. I saw them once with 5-iron, and I think they have like 3 trombone players. It was wild.
Oh, they're lying about the trio. I see.
Oh yeah. Like definitely lying about the trio. But they I think they played like the Star Wars theme. It was amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Fun.
Man, all right, so we're gonna go abstract. I would say Preservation Hall Jazz Band then, and I've seen them. I've seen them with a couple ska bands. Well, mainly Mute Math, but that's not a ska band. But I feel like they would be awesome in a ska band.
I think that's cheating, Pete. I'm
all right,
pretty
never
sure
mind.
Mr.
All right,
Jason Billy Davis wanted a ska band horn line.
All right, so Five Iron Frenzy is my answer. There it is.
Obviously, yeah. The orchestra being directed by John Williams for Star Wars, obviously best horn section. But to honor the intent of Jason's question,
thank you.
I think that, so a couple of things. One, I grew up listening to Christafari, the only Christian, not the only Christian reggae band, but the only one distributed in Christian music circles. Right, everybody else was kind of underground. I really enjoyed a lot of the horn lines. Sounded great, and maybe I thank Goatee Records for that. I don't know. I think it was just they sounded good. They were tight. It was everything you wanted out of horn sections. But I will also say I was hanging out because I'm here in Iowa. I got to see Todd. Todd, also resident of Lake Scabagon.
Hey Todd.
And he and I were talking about Denver Ska Fest because he got to go to that. We were talking about the Planet Smashers because I got to see them. Famously broke my foot while I was skanking to their music because they were so hard, just like the best ska you've ever heard. And that is a band with only 2 horn players, but they go so hard. I would say bang for your buck. Planet Smashers, probably my favorite horn section. And that's no shade against Five Iron, even though, of course, I'm required to hate Five Iron Frenzy. And I'm required to hate the Supertones. And I do have to mention the Insiders. So the Insiders did a great job.
We love them.
I mean, the Insiders were the only ones that had a cornet, right? That was a little less common. So
I do have to do a caveat then on that because I think that Bo and Sang would make up a phenomenal horn section. So the Insiders were underrated on their
big props
on their horn section.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the electric trumpet on the beginning of Heaven Bound by DC Talk.
When I think of ska,
clearly the best.
Think of DC Talk.
The best horn section is Kevin Max's keyboard.
Pick it up. Heaven Bound. That's right. Awesome.
Is that
incredible?
I'm sticking with it.
I think that answered the question.
I mean, if you can play Tubular Bells in the green room and Gene says it's okay, then you can play horns on a keyboard in DC Talk's initial album.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what Jason. I'm guessing the second voicemail is him back. Yeah.
Hello, Squid. Jason.
Hey,
again.
Jason.
My answers to the questions, favorite horn section and best horn section, are the same. My favorite horn section is Streetlight Manifesto, and I think they are the best. They are like impossible to top. And if you said anything else, you're probably wrong. But thanks for chiming in. Keep up with your work. I'm proud of you.
Proud of you too, Jason. Thank you.
That guy talks like a squid. I like him.
I'm glad he's proud of us. And I'm sorry we're all wrong, except me.
Yep, but he's sticking to his guns, and I appreciate that. DC Talk would win in a fight, though. Anyway.
Absolutely. All right.
I know our next voicemail is for our guest.
Hey. Here we go.
Hey, this is Joe from Tampa, Florida. You guys posted a question about Phimore, and I've seen those guys a couple times, probably 3 or 4 times back when I lived in Oklahoma. They always put on a good show. One of the things I remember the most, towards the end, everyone was asking, play Fishy, play the Fish song. Well, I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Fishy or The Fish.
Your reaction, I love it.
But they got tired of it. I think they were like, that's our one song that we don't want to play anymore, but everyone loves it. Reminds me of the song Real Big Fish. They have a song called, I think it's called One Hit Wonderful. And the whole song's about having the place sell out. And that's the song that everyone knows them by.
Right.
So, anyways, they always put on a good show, but I can't find them anywhere. So a few years ago, I just had the urge. I don't know if I wanted to listen to it or show my kids, but I looked on Apple Music, and it came up with some guy on it that looks, what's that guy's name? Harry something. The guy that plays his dad on that dolphin movie, Winter. Looked like him. And it said like Tales from a Journeyman. I was like, no, that's not Fillmore. And I listened to a couple songs. Like, no, that's not it. But all the similar bands were similar bands to Fillmore, like Hang Now, Ace Troubleshooter, all these things on there. I was like, well, no, did Fillmore change? So that's my question. What in the world is that guy? And how is that associated to Fillmore? And how did the two get connected? Another band I can find that you guys probably don't know unless you're from Oklahoma. One I looked for about 4 years ago, the Ivy League. It was a local ska band in Oklahoma.
My man!
Maybe someone listening might
That's
know
amazing.
what happened to those guys.
Anybody know?
Yeah.
That's it. Hope to maybe see you guys at the Squad 5-0 show.
Oh,
I
sick.
don't know if I'm going yet.
Please
I just
come.
listened today, and the guy was like, hey, I just bought tickets, so hopefully I can make it up there. I'm in the
please
documentary,
That'd be fun. Oh,
so
cool.
it would be fun to go see it. Have a good one.
Oh, thank you,
Joe.
Paul.
This is where we all chant, one of us.
One of us.
One of us. One of us.
How about that?
Joe from Tampa, from Oklahoma. I have the MP3s that I could get to you
Yeah.
Oh.
illegally, because it's illegal. We can't just share MP3s.
In no way.
right?
Hypothetically, you could imagine what it would be like.
Napster? Is Napster still a thing?
In no way would we.
Let me
actually
fire up the
facilitate this.
LimeWire. Yeah.
I mean, Dropbox is probably fine, but I have that Ivy League album, and because I've listened, I have the I know I have the CD case, and I'm 99.9% sure I have the CD already ripped to MP3. So I'm gonna find that and put it on Dropbox and send you guys the link so that
that would be awesome.
Very
Such
cool.
a good band.
dozens of people can access it.
Yes.
Hundreds, thousands of people. Who remembers the Ivy League? Many people, apparently.
I don't know if Wikipedia is correct here, but I was looking through the Reddit and it took me to this link. It looks like they are now the Mad Caddies
Nice.
or the Caddies, and they're an American ska punk band from California, but they were from Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Yeah,
right.
I don't think
You
that's
know,
right.
Wikipedia has been known to alter some things.
I should have fact checked myself before I started reading. So this is live fact checking on the air. Kevin, leave it in. Leave it
It's
in,
on the
Kevin.
internet, so it must be true.
I've read some very interesting things about myself on Wikipedia. I'm like,
I'm
wait a
sure.
minute.
Yeah.
What do you
Identity.
notice? What have they written about you that is
Actually, it wasn't even
absolutely
me. I think-
categorically untrue?
I think people have written themselves into being a drummer of our band, and written themselves into being an actor in a documentary that I produced and things like that. It's just like, and you have to fight to like get it removed, and it's like, this is dumb.
I was the lead singer of Five Iron Frenzy for a very short 1 second.
Congratulations!
Thank you. We never published it, but we got the screenshots just to. I mean, it was more. Reese was on our pod, and he was laughing about it, so it's fine. It was officially endorsed, but I know what you mean. Like Wikipedia.
But there's enough people like keeping an eye on the Five Iron page that they would notice that. Like the Phimore page could go unlooked at for decades, and someone would be like, that's been on there since 2005, and it's like, it must be true. And it's like, no, nobody has just looked at it. Nobody cared.
Justin, let me know. I'm happy to help you with Wikipedia edits, because when Jeff Becker from 90 Pound Wuss was on the show, we talked to him for a bit, and I was like, you know what? The notable people from Port Angeles, Washington, does not list Jeff Becker or Jeff Suffering from 90 Pound Wuss, and so now it does. So I'm happy to help you. You let me know. You let me know who you need.
I will let you know.
You put out the hit on people on Wikipedia, and I will remove them.
Yes, it's good to know people that
We're
know how to use
We're here
technology.
for you. Ocean's 11 style.
I love it.
All I'm gonna need, is $90 million, right?
Oh no, you won't.
So Joe from
And a
Tampa,
very
from
small
Oklahoma.
man.
He asked about Dreams of a Journeyman. Well, that guy, his name is Phimore. Like that's his name is like Phimore, Smith or whatever. I don't know. So his album came out around the same time as ours, and nobody fought it.
Sure.
It wasn't any legal anything. He probably would have won because it's really his name. And I don't know if his album was out before ours or not, but unfortunately, there's nothing to differentiate the two. And also, unfortunately, once our label kind of wasn't around anymore, there's no distribution for our music. So we could go on and probably through CD Baby. I mean, I'd have to research the legality. I don't honestly know.
Sure,
but like
sure.
CD Baby or DistroKid or whatever, I'm sure we could probably get the music back online. But I don't know that I really want to. You know,
right?
It's a collector's item.
If I could release just a couple of songs and call it good, but there's a few songs that I'm like, let's just leave that. If you have the CD, they can drop it off at Goodwill when they're finished with it, and it'll be fine.
And the great part is I own the album as well. But when we were at the Goaty Hook show, I found a copy with Fishy on it, of course.
Okay.
At the Record Connection, and it's a great record shop in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. So I definitely had to pick it up.
That's cool.
But yeah, we were stoked. So we were listening to it. We were thinking of you, listening to the album on our way back from Goaty Hook.
You guys are very sweet. I wish I could have made it to the Goaty Hook show. I haven't seen those guys since, I don't know, 03, 02, a long time.
Wow.
But they were cool guys though.
It's also worth noting that prior to this, Kevin went on. So there's the Pickle and Boot Shop, Joe and Reese's podcast. There's a discussion page where we all interact. That's where we originally engaged with each other. But he put a post on there to get some thoughts on Phimore. And in our little community, there's 33 comments discussing Phimore and your band with like, it's all positive. A lot of excitement there.
Yeah, well, I've got them right here
right now in dramatic fashion.
Our friend Missy, and I'll try and get it uploaded here. But our friend Missy has a picture with you guys. I'll try and get a better picture for you coming your way. But shout out to Missy. She had a picture with you all way back.
Actually, Pete, that is incorrect.
No,
that is Hangnail. But she's wearing a Phimore t-shirt.
Oh, there it is.
That's
right.
Yeah, that's definitely hanging out.
I'm only the ones that write things down. Write things down. I don't fact check.
Josh, you're hired permanently. You're in.
Guys, all right. Well, I'm leaving this cast. It's been great to see you.
I was never that muscular or that.
Oh, yes, you were.
Shirtless. I was rarely that shirtless.
Oh man, guys.
That's a great looking Phimore shirt. It's a great looking Phimore shirt, though.
You know what? That's a great looking Phimore shirt.
You know,
that was on album covers, though.
The one thing that I'm really proud of that we did really well was the merchandising. We sold a crap ton of t-shirts. I mean, we sold more t-shirts than about anybody, I think. Yeah. And it wasn't because they were great designs. It wasn't because we were a cool band. It was because they were like $8. And we would print them. Everybody else was selling them for 12 to 15, and we were like $8. We'll make them we bought the cheapest 50, and that's a regret. That's a regret. 50-50 shirts that chafed the armpits, but they were cheap. Buy the shirt, have it screened for $3.50 to $4. We double our money by selling it for $8, and we sold thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. I have no idea.
There's so many fans out there.
They were just walking around everywhere with our name. Just it was like just the cheapest. We only did one color, front only. It was like
So Justin, I have to ask, like, you never had any other bands say you have to charge as much as we are?
No, never did. And maybe we
never got to tour with Audio Adrenaline. Oh well.
The Newsboys.
No, but we let me think just a minute. I mean, we knew, I'll tell you a story about Audio Adrenaline. You guys, I don't know if you guys are fans of theirs or not.
Depends on the story.
I was not a huge fan of theirs because really the only thing I knew was Big House, and we were forced as a youth group to play it on the back of a parade semi-truck for like 4 hours while we did this parade one time. Yeah. So I was just kind of like, I'm not really a big fan. So
not a bad song, overplayed.
Yeah. So Kentucky, some festival, I don't remember where. We were playing. My friend would say, "Hey, Audio Adrenaline's headline tonight. You need to go watch them. They've got great tone." And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't want to go watch them." And they're like, "No, you're seriously. They've got such great tone. The guitar, everything is just. They're really good." And I'm like, "All right." So we play our show. We play this little side stage in this swamp area, and this guy's hanging out. He's just a super cool guy, just a very normal guy. He's carrying our gear. There's like, we're walking through like the swampy mud to get to the van, and he's carrying our amps, and like just the nicest dude. We hung out for, before and after the show. He was just genuine and carried our stuff and just was, and we're like, "Oh, see you later." And so then we go to Audio Adrenaline. I'm like, "Oh, that's Will, the bass player." He was just,
nice.
And I'm like, I'm a huge Audio Adrenaline fan. I still don't have, I don't think I own any of their albums, but they have a place in my heart because like they were real. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I can tell you that the amount of people, Squad 50 guys, Jeff and John, those guys are legit and real. I've always had a dear place in my heart for them because they're a real deal. The Switchfoot guys, they are the real deal. There's like maybe 5, and I've toured. I mean, like I love all the bands that we toured with, but like there's just a handful of people, the Bleach guys, Matt Hoops and even Matt Thiessen, like those guys. I love those guys as well. They're genuine, but there's so many that were just. There's very little to differentiate them from anything else out there, and that just showed like to me the Christ-likeness. Like there was, and I have no idea what all those guys are doing now, if they are where they're at in their spiritual walk and all that kind of stuff. But those guys were all like, it was just real. It was nothing hypocritical. It was genuine. I'm grateful for that.
That's cool.
I wish there was more people like that. Yeah. And I don't mean any disrespect to any other bands that I'm not mentioning, because I loved all the guys in all the bands that I don't think I didn't dislike anybody in the bands that we toured with, but there was just a handful that stuck out as like, those guys are the real deal, So
now's the time to sling the mud at Joe Yerke and Reese Roper.
I mean, they're for a game.
Reese was in our music video. He was he
was.
He was. Keith, and
that was a great video.
More stories. Goodness, that was supposed to be the youth group video they were going to put. So
yeah, please.
Frank said we want to do this fun, goofy video that's going to go to youth groups. There's a thing they send out each month, a DVD or whatever, for the youth groups, and we want to make this video for that. We'll just do this cheesy one first because it's really fun for the kids, and then we'll do a real rock and roll video next after that. And that's all we did, was that super cheesy. And it was like, it's not going to get released out into the world. It's only for youth groups. It's just going to go on a DVD.
Such a great video, though.
Nobody's going to see this.
No one's going to see this. It's only going to be for the youth groups. And then it's like, that's all we ever did. That's like the only music video we've ever done.
It's such a great video.
I'm grateful. I'm glad we did it, because we got some celebrities in that. It was pretty cool, but we didn't meet any of those celebrities, but they were in the video.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, Keith and Reese and
we have one other voicemail. I think.
But first, I want you to know we're listening. We are here talking with Mike Middleton from Hangnail, and thanks so much for having us, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Put your shirt back on.
You're as muscular as ever, and I really appreciate you being here.
I mean, with the shirt off in the picture, you would think it's Phimore because of album covers.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I can't believe that. So I had to,
Go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, related to like the video and 5-iron, as kind of like crossover stuff. I had the 7-inch. I still have the 7-inch record from 5 Minute Walk. Was it 5 Minute Walk or Cerebellum? But like they made a 7-inch picture disc.
Yeah. That's 5 Minute Walk.
Our finest. It was called Our Finest Mullet because it was Our Finest Hour on one side and the Phantom Mullet on the other. And
that's very rare.
It remains the centerpiece of my collection. I bought it, back when it came out in 2001, something like that, or 2.
I think so.
I bought it by mail from 5 Minute Walk. Came to my college dorm room. I spun it. People thought I was weird, but they kind of thought it was cool. And it's been in my collection as a centerpiece ever since. I'm very happy to have that. So thank you.
I think it was from 2000. I think it's 25 years old this
Sounds
summer.
about right.
I think so.
The other one was Model Engine and Soul Junk. They did like 2 at the same time. So yeah,
cool.
beautiful picture discs. Yeah,
that's fun. Cool. Love it.
Wow.
I don't know if I still have one of those. I think I do.
Well, if you don't find it, let me know. I'm gonna send you mine.
He's like,
go ahead and keep that in your centerpiece. It's great.
Okay.
We want this last voicemail.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Kevin would be upset if we didn't. So please.
I think so. Yeah. Here we come.
Hey guys, this is Kevin. Just wanted to call in and say sorry I couldn't make it today. Stuff happens. But I do also want to jump in and answer Mr. Jason Davis's question. My favorite horn section in a ska band would probably be Streetlight Manifesto. So that would be my answer to his question. I cheated and listened ahead since I found out I wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. But the other thing that I wanted to ask Justin was, could you tell us about the Cornerstone Subway set? That's a story that I think people would love to hear. All right. Have fun. I'll talk to you guys later.
Love you, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That is what brought us together, was the story of the Subway stage. Tim Hudson, he ran the warehouse, the venue we talked about in Bartlesville for years after Tim, other Tim got busy with POD and was touring and all that stuff, was just busy managing. Tim Hudson became the manager of that. So we became really good friends. So he, I don't know, some post on Facebook mentioned that. And he said that to me, which is just, it's so funny to me. It's very, very kind and he counts that among his, and he's seen thousands of shows. He's seen the good shows. He's seen the really, really good shows. The really, he's hosted the great shows in his venue and has been to bazillions more. And he's told me before, and he said that I think in that post, something along the lines of that Subway stage is what it ranks up there with some of his very favorite concert memories. And I know what he means. It's not because of the quality of the music, because it was bad. It was because it was our people. It was a moment in time when all of our people were together in a very specific thing. And so this was the summer of '99. We were not signed. We had played Tomfest Northwest, connected with Scott Soletta. No, maybe it was Tomfest in Dallas. Anyway, that's irrelevant. We'd connected with Scott Soletta. He had agreed to do an album with us. We went to Cornerstone just because we didn't have a stage to play. We just paid to get in, but we brought our stuff with us, and we decided we wanted to play at Cornerstone anyways. And so there's a kind of a food court area, the restaurants. There's a Subway tent. And we went and asked them, hey, would you mind if we played in front of your tent, like just set up in the grass and played? And they were like, no, that'd be fine. And so we're like, can we send a drop cord in and plug into your power so we have some stuff? Oh, sure. So I guess I don't remember. We must have gone into Bushnell and made a bunch of flyers, because I remember there were flyers, but I don't know how we got them. We must have gone into town and gone to the Kinko's and just printed them. But it was like, Phimore live at the Subway stage, or at the Subway, whatever time, whatever day. It was July 4th. And it said something like, hungry for subs, thirsty for rock, and then it had like this whole thing. And so we passed out like hundreds, thousands of those. I don't know, anyway, so we set up, again, we don't have a PA system, so we borrowed a guitar amp and ran a microphone into it. We plugged in our amps and everything, and we played this set out in the grass in front of Subway, and literally people. So I watched the video today, and I was really, really nervous to watch it, because again, it's those memories you have in your head, and you're like, if I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna be like crushed, because it was so dumb and not at all what I remember. And it was very dumb, and it was, but what I saw was just hundreds of people gathered around, and a really, really great energy, a really great vibe. That, like, the music was bad. It was sloppy. I couldn't hear. There was no monitor, so I couldn't hear, and I was super off pitch. We were speeding up and slowing down and playing badly, and all of it. It was not good, not a good performance, but it was our people. All of our friends were around, people we didn't know, but it was like just this little, round, a few hundred people gathered around the Subway, and guys are walking out carrying subs, like, I got a foot long meatball for John. It was just like, it was, and at one point I'm like, hey, can everybody just clear a path so that, everybody can get in and out of the Subway? I'm like, we want to be a blessing to Subway. We don't want to cut off their business, And, at some point, my brother, I remember, was saying, like, are we perpetually out of tune here, or is it just me, And it was like, no, we are just out of tune and really, really bad. But it was just a fun moment. And I'm grateful that I was grateful that my brother had the tape of it. I don't know how he found that, whatever. Yeah. And it's not something I'd ever want to share with the world, but I was really glad to, I sat through all of it. I watched all of it, and it was really hard to watch all of it. But the first 30 seconds, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. It's like, this is a really fun moment. At some point I'm playing a guitar solo, and I climb up on top of the guitar. If I'm standing up on like a half stack, and like people have to run and stabilize it because it's just flopping all around. But it was just dumb, 20 years old and goofing around, and it was a blast. Super
it's that
fun.
moment in time. It's part of your story. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. If the world doesn't get to see the video, does the world get to see a still from this?
I can maybe find a still.
Okay,
a picture of you on top of your
if I
guitar.
could cut like 15 seconds of the least worst of it.
That's all we need.
And just give you a little,
That would be amazing.
That's all we need.
The world needs it. No, that's fantastic, and I love this. I love the idea of like the unique venue, the unique situation, the like you say, just the raw energy. It doesn't matter if the music what it is. It matters that the people are there, that they're loving it, they're appreciating it. It's all it's that flow, that energy that's happening in the moment.
It was fun moment.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's a great story.
It's fantastic. So here's one question we've been asking a lot of folks. Is there a memorable period, event, time during your touring, performing, etc., where you lost control of your bowels?
Oh, ooh!
I forgot about this question.
Not touring.
Okay,
we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, there he is. The question was touring, so there we go.
Yeah, music band related. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of situations on the road, I'm sure, where you're like, hey, what can you? I just saw the place where Joe lost control of his bowels on a public golf course in Picture Bluffs.
Told us a great story about that, and so
amazing. Yeah, no,
it can happen
never
anywhere.
on the no. I don't think I've ever lost. Yeah, it was years later, well beyond the band years, before I had any issues like that.
All right. Well, welcome to the rest of us.
Speaking of great transitions, thanks.
You finally got to do it.
I got to do it. Yeah. So we were talking about that great music video and how spoiler alert, Toby Mac starts off the video, and Interlink Magazine. Have you ever heard of the Interlink company? You were talking about the video being on DVDs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times it would go through these people to get to youth groups.
Yeah.
They would put out this volume with different songs that you could do studies about. But, like in here, I'm just opening up. It's a leader's guide to Rebecca St. James. Don't worry. But that's not what I'm getting to here. And then Switchfoot, Learning to Breathe, and Economy of Mercy. So those are my boys too. So thank you for the shout out about Switchfoot.
Shout out to your boys.
Yep.
Yes.
But in the
Did
middle,
you know they were a trio to start with?
Oh, I don't know if you knew that. Oh, man.
I knew that. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Three-piece, huh?
Oh yeah.
Were they a trio of three or many though? Because the trio means
they
nothing
had like
now.
4 trombones, but they were they were
How
off
many
stage.
were in their trio?
We'll talk about horn sections, guys. Company car.
Company car.
Yeah.
Great horn section.
There we go.
I got to see those guys way back, so they're picking on me about that. But anyway, Jerome Fontamilis' first show was my second show. All right, so enough about that. There's my humble brag. In the center of this magazine is the comparison list of if you like this band, so secular band, check out Phimore. All right. What do you think in winter of 2000 that Interlink thought that if you like this band, or there's 2 on this list, check out Phimore?
Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I will tell you that they do have you under the hard music category and the genre of punk.
I'd have to say Green Day, but I don't think we sound like them. But and maybe what's that band? Why can't I think of them?
Oh yeah,
Offspring.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think we sound like them either, but that's what I guess.
Those 2 are not on there, but
they're not. A lot of people have guessed Green Day. I feel like that's like the go-to, right?
For punk in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
I will tell you. So what I also like to do is when you give a band, I like to see if they are listed in here, and they have down for Offspring. It's like Johnny Q. Public.
Yeah.
And
not really, but
I agree. I agree. I mean,
but you got to sell them somehow, right?
Whether this is right or wrong,
got to keep them separated.
Hey,
I don't mind. Yeah.
You're only 18. You're doing really fine. Oh, but I will tell you. Oh, this is great. This is great. Okay, so Green Day is listed for Hangnail.
Okay. All right.
And you guys, any of you guys have a guess?
Rancid. I'm trying to think of general market.
That came to mind,
punk.
but yeah,
because they're usually bad, right? Like the comparisons, like it's usually not very good.
Yeah. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're not.
Did they say Bon Jovi?
No, they did not. But that
I would
cover
have been
was
like,
amazing.
oh yes.
Yeah, I know that cover was amazing. One of the arguably better than the original. So.
No,
I'm agree.
I will
kidding.
argue with you about that. I will argue.
I will also argue against myself. But it was a great cover.
and also just to let you know, Justin, many people in the biological discussion said that, yeah, however you say that word.
We also have a biological discussion page that's starting later.
Biology is diabolical.
It's a separate group chat. Yeah,
that's
so they were so sheltered as youth group kids that they did not know that was a cover.
Yeah, we'll take credit for that one.
Yeah,
yeah.
Original.
Oh,
the other guy covered it. That's right.
That's right. Any last minute guesses, and then I won't keep stringing it along.
Because we've already said, because Blink 182 is the other one that might fall on the chart, right?
Blink,
is it Blink?
Blink 182 is one of the two bands.
Okay, all right.
Yep. So it's that's and the other one. I don't think you'll get. I don't think you'll list this. Is let's see.
The Sex Pistols.
Yeah, right.
I'd also be proud of that. I'd be like, okay.
I know.
Would
right?
it be Ramones?
Wow.
Not the Ramones.
Okay.
2000 is a hard year to.
It looks like here it's the Ivy League. No, no. Unwritten Law.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because what was their big song?
Seeing Red. That was a good song. It was on the Grind soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. That all sounds like stuff I wasn't allowed to see or listen to when I was a kid.
Right. Kaylin. That was the other song. Was called Kaylin. I love that CD. It was like Unwritten Law, like first one.
So you go.
Kaylin and Seeing Red. That was a good band.
So Blink 182 and Unwritten Law.
Kind of see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this resource book. It makes me laugh every time I open it. But
That's awesome. What year was that? That was from 2001?
So it would have been the winter of 2000. So it was probably what they probably would have put that together around the fall. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the corollary for Point of Grace?
Oh goodness. Okay.
Have we ever asked that question?
Wilson Phillips, of course.
Well, that seems to be the most like the truest analog.
Yeah, who else would it be?
Because I'm thinking like they would have said the Spice Girls, and that wouldn't be true, but that would be what was on the chart.
Y'all, they're not on here.
No.
They're not on there?
No.
They just knew that anybody who listens to Point of Grace doesn't listen to secular radio. That's
okay.
They already
there
knew.
we go. Yeah.
I mean, you got a point there.
I mean, kids back then weren't like really.
That's a one way. Yeah, there's no one going the other direction. To Point of Grace,
right.
Think.
Yeah.
From
if you like Backstreet Boys, you'll love For Him.
Avalon.
If you like Avalon, you'll like Point of Grace. Yeah, it's just
Avalon.
One Christian band to another.
Avalon was Savage Garden, so there you go. But yeah, no Point of Grace. I'm so sorry.
Truly, madly, deeply, testify to love. Very close, very close.
Can't win them all.
And they are not. Also, I just checked to see if they were mislabeled, and they were under hard music, but they were not. So.
Chicka Cherry Hallelujah.
Yeah, Chicka Cherry.
What is what's Rebecca St. James comparison back then?
Okay,
Alanis Morissette. I bet my life.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be.
Oh yeah, she should be on here. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll try and find it. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look under the heavy music.
Why is she not on? Oh, here we go.
Janet Jackson.
No, it's the clarification on this. Happy Alanis Morissette.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It literally says.
What do I win?
I don't know, but it says. You won't
so
be able
not
to see
you
this.
ought to know.
It won't. You won't be able to see
right.
this.
There's nothing happening in a theater.
But it's happy Alanis Morissette. Yeah.
All right.
Ironic.
That. Fascinating.
Like
that's like one of the only qualifiers.
Right.
Yeah. I'm putting away the magazine, guys.
Is that her only comparison? There is no one else.
Yeah. Nope, just happy Alanis Morissette. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that covers it pretty much.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
I saw. Speaking of other bands that were probably listed in there, but I closed the book. I saw that you've been doing a little stuff with Pillar in your new gig.
Oh yeah, so I do. So I own a video production company now, and so that's my day job. That's what I do. And Michael from Kalel, Michael, whatever you call him, however you know him as, we've been doing. He had a side project called Stars Go Dim that has become a solo project for Chris Cleveland. I started doing some photography. Actually, I drove. So many memories coming back. I drove Pillar's tour bus for 2 weeks. in 2006, and it was I learned that I did not want to be a tour bus driver. My brother had been driving buses for a while there. He's like, "You're gonna love this. It's great money, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "You just don't ever sleep, and it's horrible." I love the guys, but I did not enjoy being on the road. But after doing that, we'd played with them, and we lived in the same town, so we kind of knew them and everything. But I started doing some photography and videos for Stars Go Dim, and then Michael, his bodybuilding career. I've done a lot of photography for him, a lot of magazine stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And then, so when they did their reunion last year, I took their kind of their new press photos, their new whatever album with their new what's the word, posters, whatever shoot, and then photographed their reunion concert. It was really cool. I got the show was great. Like they put on a great show. It was great energy in the room. I was just really impressed. Like they played really, really well for having been off for a long time, And granted, like Lester's been drumming at a very high level for a long time. Noah, I don't know I think he played. Gosh, I feel like Noah just played with like a stadium like the night before their show. I mean, like I don't even know who he's playing with, but I feel like he was playing somewhere really, at a really high level, and then flew in for the show. And so they killed it. It was really, really good. So that was fun.
And that's so interesting to me because I followed that reunion, and see that you were part of that. That's really, really cool. Small world moment. I mean, from the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's cool. I started doing photography when we were still touring.
Yeah.
And then started, shooting some bands, albums and posters and stuff. And then, the band started getting married and started shooting weddings, and then they started having kids. So it's like it came from my connections in the music world, and then did photography for a lot of years, and then around 08, 09, 2010, somewhere in there, started doing a lot more video, and then now I do some photography, but mostly just video work now. Yeah.
And so you got into, you said you started taking the pictures while you were touring, and then what kind of, I'm curious about this. What made you decide to kind of transition away from the band and then into kind of going this full time?
Yeah, we never broke up. So my brother and I were still so Brett played with us from 96 when we started until 2002. And it was a little bit after the Back to the Future tour might have been the last tour we did with him. I have to really think about that. I can't remember. I think that was the last one. He left the band in 2002. And then Sean Donnelly was a friend from Houston. We'd played with his band and knew his dad really well. And so we auditioned a few people. Sean was just a really easy fit, man. He just he just hit hard. He looked cool. He was just he's solid. Like everything that I really appreciate about him. He was meticulous about the way he set up his drums. Everything was exactly the same every single night to like the millimeter. And I love that because it was just a great fit at that time because we were trying to be tight, and it was really, really, really cool. So he played from 2002 until 2004. And then when he left, Cale and I spent another year. We weren't touring. We were just playing spot dates, but we played quite a few shows as a two-piece. So Cale is originally a drummer, so he switched to the drums, and we tracked bass parts for all the songs. And so it was pretty fun. We had a Roland 1680, which is like a multi-track digital recorder, kind of old school, but we tracked his bass just raw right into there. And so when we played live, we had the click on one track with some keyboards and stuff on one other track. The bass could come straight out of there completely raw and go into his bass amp. And so it sounded on stage, like his bass amp is set up there, and his bass was played into the recorder and then straight out into the amp. It sounded exactly like he was playing live on stage. It was really fun. So he played the drums. I sang, and cool. We played as a two-piece, and it was really fun. It didn't have the energy, it was fine, but it wasn't the same. We did that for like a year, and then we were still writing some songs, but we just weren't really playing out anymore in like 06, and then we just stopped. We just quit doing anything, he'd been married for a few years at that point. I was got engaged in 2006, got married in 2007, and then it just nothing went wrong. We didn't have a falling out. We had a great relationship. We just stopped doing it,
But you never broke up.
We never broke up, so there's a chance.
Still a band.
All right, guys, I'm changing that Wikipedia. It says was, nope.
Was, yeah. I mean,
no, is.
Phimore is.
Yeah, so Fun thing. We haven't done anything in like 20 years. Like literally, the last show we played was in '05. And we haven't done a thing. And the last album that we put out was that the Demolition, which is a collection of a few demos that we did. So we haven't worked on any music or done anything for 20 years. And pretty recently, early this year, I think it's all been this year. I don't think we started last year. I started revisiting some of the old demos, and we're working on an album right now. It's kind of weird.
Hey.
So
is this an exclusive? Is this the first time we've talked about it?
Nobody publicly knows. So we're gonna have to cut this part out.
Okay, sure.
No, just kidding.
I mean, but really, leave it in or
it's
cut it out?
It's so low key right now. But we have an album's worth of material. I'm really excited about it. It's just almost all. I mean, all of it is stuff that we wrote 20 years ago. And then there's a handful of songs. So there's some really great tools now. AI has helped me immeasurably as a songwriter who's been stuck. And like, so I've been able to use some AI tools to get me over some humps, which it's like working with a producer that never gets their feelings hurt, that has 1,000 million bazillion ideas, and you just say, nope. How about that? I've basically started running some of my old demos through AI software and saying, show me some new ideas.
There you go.
And then just through literally hundreds of iterations, I'll find, oh, I like that. Oh, that's cool. And then start using that. And so we're gradually re-recording stuff. Most all of it, there's like one new song I'm working on, but almost everything, it's still based on an old idea. All of it is
that's all right.
So old, but it's songs that I there was one song in particular that we got hung up on. It was a song we used to even play live. But I could, the chorus wasn't right. I just couldn't get the chorus right. And I've worked on that song for literally 20 years. I've thought about the song, not like every week or every month, but every year for sure. I'm like thinking about how do I, there wasn't enough space in the chorus to put this one line where I wanted it. And I've worked on it and worked on hundreds of hours. I have no idea, could never do it. And, through production help, by having AI just help me get outside of my head and reimagine it, it didn't even solve the problem for me. It just, there was one thing, it rephrased the way it was sung, and it opened up like 2 more syllables or 3 more syllables. And suddenly it was like, and I was able to like craft the words a little different, write another line there. And suddenly this chorus that was impossible to me for 20 years is now way better than it was before. I still wrote it. Like the AI didn't fix the problem, but it let me like get out of my head. And like, so it's like, I hate AI. I love AI. It's it's not going anywhere, obviously.
Sure, we all do. Yeah.
But it's like, I can't let it, I don't want it to influence me, but it's like, I've been able to use it to just bounce ideas, and then I can take off and run with it, and so, the stuff that we're working on, I'm really excited about. I mean, there's no timetable. We're tracking stuff and just at our houses by ourselves. And so who knows, 20 more years, maybe we'll have it finished. Who knows?
I'm in. That's all right. That's awesome.
But who knows? It's been fun though. Yeah. It's been fun to be creative again. Like it's just, I mean, I work in a creative industry where I'm literally creating every day, but this is very, very different. This is very, very personal, very emotional, very, very different than my day work, So.
Yeah. Sure. Very exciting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, you bet.
That's awesome.
A little scary to say it out loud, but here it is.
Now it's real.
Yeah. I hope our think tank has told you, no, keep going with it, because that's exciting.
And now it's a contract. Now you have to. Now you're signed to a Pickle Home Companion Records.
Yeah.
No. We'll let you own your masters. Okay.
Thank you. That's bare minimum right there. Yeah.
There you go. We will not sell them.
If I've learned one thing,
we'll require screen printing the front and the back of the t-shirts now, though. That's
step up.
I'm gonna go with 100% cotton. I so appreciate good, comfortable t-shirts now. It's like I can never go back to 50-50.
No more.
And there's so many things.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's Hanes beefy tees or no, the beefy. Not the beefy.
You can get away with that now. The heavyweight
sweaty,
is back.
chafed armpits. Yeah. I feel like we did that to our fans. Like they paid their money and we chafed them. Every time they wore it, they're like, "Oh, Phimore."
the Band-Aid industry and the lotion industry and everything. You help that economy. So
a rising tide lifts all ships, right? That's
yes,
good.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly. Really does.
So if we do ever finish this, if we ever do put anything, it probably can't be under just Phimore. I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe it'll be Phimore, the Phimore band, or maybe it'll be I have no idea, something, because we can't get confused with Henry.
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
that other guy.
Hear me out.
Guy.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Hangnail.
Oh, there we go.
No. Phimore nail. No.
Or even Phimore.
Even Phimore. Yeah.
Even Phimore.
The Phimore projects. Yeah. No. All right. Anyway, but yes.
Great ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's what we have. A wealth of ideas.
We're like AI, but not nearly as fast. Yeah.
There's lots of time to think about this. You'll have decades to think about this. It's fine.
That's it. Yeah.
We are going to have you back every year.
On it. Yes.
Every year until it happens.
Well, let me tell you. I don't know. That's great.
But hey, Justin, would you be interested in playing a game with us? We enjoy occasionally asking our guests to play games with us. If that sounds scary, that's okay. You don't have to. It's challenge by choice, but
I trust you guys implicitly by this point.
Oh goodness, that's great.
Appreciate that.
How about that?
Kevin, clip
Thank
that
you.
one again.
This is a first time thing for us, I think, in terms of trust. That's great. Okay, so you're familiar with the card game Go Fish?
Yes.
So we're gonna play that. You have a deck.
Good start.
I'm kidding. So here's the thing. Go Fish is a card game where you're looking for a match, right? You're looking to make a pair.
For our listeners at home.
Right. So this is going to be, I'm calling it Our Finest Fishy. And it's going to be something that you like, that you think we like. So for each of us, for Jared, for Pete, and for Josh and myself, you're going to think of something you like. And from the time that we've had conversing tonight, you say, for example, Jared, do you have any twos? But instead of twos, you're going to say, Jared, do you have any hardcore, or something along those lines? Does that make sense?
I think so. Is music explicitly?
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be Rolaids, it could be it could be clothing, it could be whatever you want.
And so then we answer if we have said item, or if it's part of our being.
If there's
or
something
you say go fish, right?
Yeah, or you say go fish. That's it.
But how do we answer truthfully? I want to make sure
the integrity of the game, Pete.
Yeah, don't lie.
No. I mean, I'm asking. No, what I'm asking is like, do you have any hardcore? Do you like hardcore? Yes. Okay, then yes.
Okay.
Or do you have any like glassware? Then yes. Like that's what
you're gonna have to give him your card. You got to tell him what it is that you like.
Okay,
that's his thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do we offer a clarifying question like we typically do?
That's right. We typically do. You can ask us a clarifying question, Justin, before you go fish, if you would like.
That might give you an insight into who we are.
So I feel an immense amount of pressure right now.
Oh, good. That's working.
Stakes are high. Yeah.
Okay. Jared, do you have any Oreos? I don't know.
Go fish. I'm not an Oreo guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost lied, Pete, and then I felt guilty. Yeah.
And you can ask him a question if you want.
No.
Besides, do you have?
All right, Jared.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any Reese's products?
Oh yes. Yeah. Peanut butter cups. Peanut butter cups all the way.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
I'll give you two because they come in a pack.
Wow, generous.
Perfect. Okay. And Justin, what's your Reese's product?
A fast break. My wife loves the fast breaks, and so she gives me a bite of them when she gets them the king size. I get and it's really, really good.
Okay, there we
Josh, you know that Mitch Hedberg joke about Reese's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's some other guy's
It's
thing.
an apostrophe S.
That's right. That's an apostrophe. That's not yours. That's his. It's Reese's. Can't eat that.
Very good. That was successful. Very good. See, that's
good.
Hard, right?
I dig this game. Thank you, Brock. You're great.
Joshua, do you have any dogwood?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I got the new vinyl from last
year. The new
year.
vinyl. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a re-release of one from 20 years ago, 25 years ago? Or is it new music?
No, they're re-releasing their whole catalog because they did Building a Better Me for Furnace Fest, like a collab exclusive. Okay. And then they've done, what have they done since then? I know I have to, and then they just released the pre-order for the third one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the Furnace Fest vinyl release was the Oreo and the the Oreo cookies on the outside. That was the white
Through
stuff.
Thick and Thin was the second one they released, right?
Exactly. Right. So they've got 2 non-Furnace Fest releases that bookend the Furnace Fest release, but there's 3 I think that they've done so far.
Yeah, I got the Building a Better Me.
Yeah.
I think the Thick and Thin was the one that I used to listen to. Does that have like the hardcore bit at the end? It sounds like it's a live performance. It might be, but I think it's probably studio. Who are these people that you're talking about? Anybody remember that?
Yeah, I know it. I can't place where it is on the album, but yeah.
It's like a special hidden track or whatever. It's like the end.
Yeah.
Because I heard it
I
way
thought
back
that was such
in the
a
day.
great little riff and like.
Yeah. We had Josh on last week, Josh Kimball.
Yeah.
We chatted with him, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Peek into the future for when we release it next week.
It hasn't been released yet, but now you know.
Hey, Josh Lawless, there's
I didn't know
for you.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hey Josh, Friday, right?
No.
I don't know when it's coming
out. He's a few weeks out because we got your boys mob boss.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got
nice.
Yeah.
But,
Brock, do you have any tourniquet?
Ooh, maybe.
Pathogenic ocular dissonance?
Yeah.
Now here, let me give you what I do have, and you tell me if this is a fish or not. I have Luke Easter's solo record, which I know he's
nice.
the second vocalist, so that's I'm not sure that's where we don't know if it matches or not.
and all that vinyl and all those cassettes, no tourniquet.
I know, right? But no, his solo project is great. And what's the is it Broken As You Think I Am or Damaged As I Am? That's a great track from his solo record. But that is not tourniquet, so we may have to go fish again.
Okay.
And again, you can ask a question if you're curious. If you don't know enough about me, you can ask a clarifying question of some kind. Do I skate? No.
It's too bad.
I know, right? It'd be a lot cooler if I did.
Wouldn't we all?
Pete.
Yes.
Have you ever played an accordion?
Oh.
Professionally?
No. That's obvious.
It's a narrow slice of the population that's played professional accordion.
Weird Al is my boy.
Oh yeah.
Not in real life, but I wish he was my boy. Weird Al, if you're listening.
Me too.
I have held an accordion in my hands.
That will count.
All right, there you go. Okay. And also around the neck. So yeah.
Good. Okay. One more, Brock. Did you
hold on. We need to know Justin's accordion.
Yeah. What's the match for you, Justin?
I owned an accordion for a while. I bought it at a thrift store or something.
Nice.
A little known fact. Well, I think it's a fact. I'm pretty sure this is a fact. I will state this confidently. They are made with beeswax. So if they stay in a hot attic, they don't last.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So you find that out the hard way. I had a very cool, like 100-year-old Honer.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a great accordion, but it was old, and I played the fire out of it. It was so fun. Wrote polka songs for my old church up in Iowa. It was great.
Really?
Oh,
and then
wow.
it melted. Cool. And then it melted, and it's it's
yeah.
No more. But it was fun.
Okay.
Fun era. Okay.
Huh.
Brock.
Yeah.
Brock. I'm trying to go way, way back. See how far you're. What year were you born, Brock?
1982.
82. I remember 82. What was I listening to in 82? Just kidding.
Let's see. You were what, 7?
No.
Do you have Soldiers Under Command?
Oh gosh, that sounds like something I should have, but don't.
Yellow and Black Attack.
Oh, that's right. No, I don't.
How about In God We Trust?
I don't.
I have it.
Okay.
I know. He does.
I have it.
I know. I used to.
I'm asking the wrong guy. Pete.
I went to. Hi. How are you? I'll get another fish for you. I do.
Were you at Cornerstone when they played like 03 or 4?
That is one thing I always wanted to be at was Cornerstone, but no, I
never got to go.
Never got to go. Never. But I did see them. I think they played Creation one year, and then I also saw them a few times. Michael lives up here in New England, so he comes around. He and Striper come around quite a bit, and
That's awesome.
So I got to see him on the acoustic tour. I saw 3 dates on the acoustic tour.
That's awesome.
To hell with the amps.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They played at Cornerstone, and Michael's reading from a cassette J card, like the lyrics. It was
for real.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like
amazing.
That's funny, like the cassette.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm sorry, all these
high-tech.
stories. One other story, Michael Sweet story.
please, let's do it
For sure.
I'm loving this. I'm intent.
So we'd signed with 5 Minute Walk, and we were remixing finishing some stuff and kind of mixing the album and everything. And I said, man, I'd love to have Michael Sweet involved in Our Finest Hour, you know. And so Frank's like, well, I think he either knew him or had a way to get a hold of
We
him.
can make this happen.
We're on tour. I'm sitting in a Pizza Hut, and my phone rings, and I'm like, hello. And he's like, hey, this is Michael Sweet. And I'm like, yes.
Really?
So we had this conversation. He's like, I'm listening to the song. He's like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm like, I think it'd be really cool if you were just like, what at the end, you know, like something really cool. Like, I don't know. I don't remember what the conversation was, but I was like, Michael Sweet called me. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I was a little too young for Stryper, but my sister was really into it. So I listened. I never saw them until they reunited for the Cornerstone show, and that was pretty special. That was pretty cool. Very, very cool.
I was too young for Stryper as well, but my dad was a huge Stryper fan. So
yeah.
So and we got to go to a show when they reunited. What years? I think it was right after Cornerstone. So they did after Cornerstone was kind of like the catapult to them kind of going back on tour. And they came around New York. I was living in New York at the time, so they played Clifton Park, and just to be able to go to that show with my dad was awesome because he'd never seen him before either, and that's a concert memory I'll hold on to. So
that's awesome. Cool. I love you got to do that with your dad. That's amazing.
It was special to see him rocking out. Oh my gosh, I could go on about Stryper. That's another podcast.
Well, we obviously have to have a repeat, Justin. If you want to come on and talk about Stryper sometime, I think we could probably do that. I think that'd be a you and Pete episode. We'll be here, but you guys will talk.
I feel like there's a wealth of stories just in general, and we want. Oh, this is awesome.
It's fantastic. Here, Justin. Do you want to fish in the pond of Iowa?
I could. Do you have any corn? What else does Iowa have?
Yes.
No, I was gonna ask. Do you have any Rusel pomade?
Oh, I usually use Murray's.
Okay, all right. So corn. We'll go with corn then.
Okay.
Corn on the cob.
Corn. I had what was it? I went to Qdoba yesterday, and I got they had like the corn salsa. And so that was that's probably my favorite kind of corn is just like a nice sweet corn salsa. Or Trader Joe's makes the cowboy caviar, which is kind of like it's not chili, but it's like corn salsa plus chili beans, maybe a little bit of that. Or they just have a corn based salsa, which is like tomatoless. I'm not even sure what you call that, but it's
Heaven
so
on
good.
earth.
Absolutely. It's amazing. Okay. No, you put that on a corn chip, and you've got corn so many different ways, and you can just eat it.
What else do you need?
Good. Yeah, no, it's like you know the what do they call they make like 3-bean salad with like a vinegar based sort of like sweet brine. I think that's kind of what the corn salsa tastes like, and it's really good. So
sounds awesome.
Making me hungry. I gotta go get some.
I love Trader Joe's.
How do you pronounce that word? SALSA. I'm just curious. The rest of you? No.
The Barcelona salsa.
Yeah.
Would you like some more salsa?
Salsa.
Some more salsa.
Sounds like you're really into corn, Brock, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm here in Iowa.
He's in Iowa.
I got real excited about corn there.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It's probably like knee high right now, isn't it, out there?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I mean, not to be too graphic, but, you know, I've had a bowel movement every day. And
proud of you.
There's been corn visible in it every day. So I think that means I'm in Iowa.
Welcome to Iowa.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. No, I did. Yeah. So, Justin, you said were you from Iowa City? No, you were touring through.
No, we're from Garner, which is way top of the state, Clear Lake, Mason City. Yeah, way up there.
Yeah, like closer to the Minnesota border.
Yeah.
So, have you ever gone to the Spam Museum?
I have not.
Okay, there's a Spam Museum. It's just across. Is it Austin, Minnesota? just across the border. And apparently it's just like the place where you can go and learn everything you need to know about Spam. Just like we went to Hershey World or whatever, they have the Hershey Mobile, the Kiss Mobile.
Yep.
They have a Spam Mobile. Apparently they have a whole museum. They have the how you make Spam, the factory tour, all this stuff. I wish I could go. It's 2.5 hours away from where I am now in Des Moines, and it's just not close enough to be viable with like my work people. So
I don't want to see Spam being made. I'd like to just keep that part hidden personally.
Right, yeah. You want to see it being fried with like, rings of pineapple or something.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
No, so
free
I'm staying
admission.
in Des Moines. Is it?
It's what it says on the website. Free admission. There's
go.
also a link that says things to do and see in Austin that I presume are not the Spam Museum. I wonder what those are.
Austin city limits.
Yeah.
Other Austin.
Famous for that in Minnesota. Yeah.
They have any barbecue there? No.
Spam barbecue.
Yeah. But in my time in Iowa, I did go to, is it Elk Rock State Park, and I slept in a car there. It was great. It was my own personal time. Like work pays for the hotel I'm in right now. But when I travel on my own, I'm a dirtbag. I think I would have made a great touring musician. I slept in a car. I drove down to where I think my family may have passed through back in the day, Garden Grove, Iowa. Yeah, and then I drove. I had pizza at a Casey's, which I've been told is a thing you have to do.
It's great pizza.
Yeah, they had a breakfast pizza. I don't know if you had this.
Oh, so good. So a little triangle cardboard and a little plastic bag. You had to slide it in, and then
that's it.
You need to put the pizza in backwards in the bag, or else it's very hard to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
If you put it in forward, then if you put it backwards, then you can keep your hands clean.
Yeah,
keep your hands clean while you grab it. Yep.
I needed the napkins anyways.
That's a pro tip. I like that.
Yeah. And I haven't yet been to a Made Right. I've heard their sandwiches are pretty classic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
classic Sloppy Joe. It's not a Sloppy Joe. It's a Made Right.
Okay. All right.
But it's a Sloppy Joe.
Yeah. And then ZZZ Records. It's like it's been around forever. It's a Des Moines record shop. So that's the other thing on my list. But I also went to Council Bluffs where my friend Todd lives. Todd, friend of the show, and rode bikes with him. Council Bluffs is all right, but the Wabash Trail, is it the Nature Trail? So good.
That's the Quad Cities. Council Bluffs, Davenport.
It's on the west side. It's over by Omaha.
Oh, the west side. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's but it was good. So I've been around a quarter of the state, and I like it a lot. It's wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, I'd come back.
Good.
Oh, travels with Brock.
Yeah.
One more pro tip for you: if you're living in the car, if you can still find Goober grape.
Ooh.
Remember Goober grape and Goober strawberry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has so many preservatives, it does not need to be refrigerated. And so that's literally what we ate like for weeks at a time was a loaf of bread, a couple of things of goober, and some spoons. And that's what we ate. That's what those 99, 2000, 2001, we ate a lot.
There you go.
Yep.
That's
throw it in the back of the van, and it doesn't go bad. No refrigeration needed.
I'm doing that before I leave Iowa. I'm going to
3 squares a day,
Yeah.
I love it.
And by 3 squares, we mean 3 slices of bread that you fold in half and fill with Goober grape.
Yes.
I appreciate that you have now found all your fishes and you've won our first game of Go Fish.
That's right.
I'm honored.
Yeah. No, thank you for playing.
I'm honored.
Much appreciated.
I do. You were talking about tour. I have a note here that I would be remiss to ask. We're talking about Stryper and old bands. How was Steve Taylor part of the Smile at Me video?
We never met him. They literally they flew the chicken suit out to Nashville or wherever he was, and he put the chicken suit on. He didn't put the hat on. I think he just kind of like pretended to just cut and Keith Keith was the stunt chicken that wore the chicken suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I just saw that. I didn't put the 2 and 2 together, but yeah.
Yeah. So that was I don't know. It was a favor to Frank Tate. He just said, "Hey, would you put on this chicken suit and like take the hat off?" And I don't think Steve even said anything, did he? He just
no. He's just in the credits. Yeah, he's just in the credits at the end.
You just know who he is.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah. So when I saw that, I went, "Wait a second."
Yeah, Toby Mac. They filmed that. We never saw him.
Okay.
I mean,
Wow.
And
we cross paths, but I never.
No one ever does.
Right?
Is he real? We
He's
don't
an
know.
anomaly.
Is he real?
Yeah, just between you and me, I don't know if he is.
He might be free at last.
Yes, but we all know he's a Jesus freak. So
That's
right.
Oh,
it takes a lot of willpower not to divulge that.
We're living in extreme days because we've got momentum, baby. But also, Aaron James is the gentleman that
I was right. It was Aaron. They just couldn't tell the last name.
Yeah. Oh, you were spot on. You were spot
Aaron,
on.
I love you, man. He introduced me to Air, the band Air, which was really cool, and the movie American Movie, which is a documentary about two guys making a movie.
Yes.
Aaron James introduced me to so many cool things, and he shared his shampoo and conditioner while we stayed at his house.
What a legend!
It might have been a Veda. It was like that mint. Like I felt like he just was, he brought so much meaning into our lives at that time, and I'm glad I remembered his name. Just felt bad for a second there.
No, it's all good. It's years.
Love it.
Years, but it's still with you. I can't remember my best friend's name. No, I don't. Again, don't know his name, so I can't say it. Right.
Very good. Well, I should probably. It's the time for me to get to bed and then to get up and work again tomorrow. But thank you so much, Justin, for spending some time with us.
You guys have been very gracious. This has been a long conversation, and you've listened to all these old stories, and I appreciate it because you guys even kind of know what I'm talking about. I don't have,
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we're ending early. If you can believe it, we're ending early.
You have the right audience.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun telling stories to people that appreciate the people I'm talking about or whatever the situation. So that's fun. That's cool.
I mean, you're welcome back anytime because I'm.
Oh, thank you.
I wish we had more time because the stories. This is the kind of stuff I love to hear. Like I've said a million times. I know the guys are right there with me, and appreciate that. So appreciate your time so much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it tonight very much.
Appreciate all the the music you put out there, and we're stoked for the new album.
Yes.
See what happens. I make no promises, but we'll
third quarter 2025. That's what we're going to tell people, right? Is that it? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And did you want to promo anything else that you do? Anything?
Yeah, please. Where can
you want to vend your wares?
I don't have any wares to vend. If people want to check it out, my website, the video production is cineintegrityfilms.com or cineintegrity.com, and that's CINE like Cine Integrity. And anyway, people are welcome to check out. I work with some really I'm going next week. I'm leaving to go to the Middle East with an organization that smuggles Bibles into Iran and feeds people and refugees in Iraq. They're just doing really, really cool stuff. I'm just a contractor for them, but just helping people in really, really hard areas to do things that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And even empowering the church in areas that are really super dark and restricted to help people. And so there's videos on the website about some of that stuff and everything. So if anybody wants to check that out, they're welcome to. But
please.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll definitely put that in the show notes when this gets released, and so appreciate I if you get that 15-second clip, let us know.
Okay.
And
I made a note. I'll see if I can find 15 usable seconds that I feel comfortable sending.
Just stills or just somebody shouting out a Subway order. I don't care.
Just something. Okay, we'll see. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Fabulous.
Appreciate you coming on.
Back anytime.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
And that's the news from Lake Scabagon, where all the hours are strong, all the fishies are good looking, and all of the Phimore is above average.
Oh, onward, pickle soldiers.
Thanks to Josh, we have another perfect podcast.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Bravo, guys.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Very much.
Come back anytime.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Take care. Much love.
Have a good night, guys. See you.
All right.
Bye.
See you.
Bye, Justin.
Man, how cool is that?
Oh,
That was fun, guys. That was
That was a
cool.
lot of fun.
dude,
This is why we do this.
It really is.
who knew they were doing new music?
We couldn't have called it, right? It's a real pickle home exclusive.
Yeah.
As he was talking, it was bringing back all these memories legitimately of seeing them in Buffalo, of checking them out a couple other times. And it started to wave back all these nostalgic memories of those good times. And then when I was listening to the albums kind of rehashing this week, those songs, a lot of those songs came back and brought me back memories of a beautiful time. So
I love that.
That, you know, it's that whole idea that music brings back memories, like we were talking about with him about Striper and with my dad. Like, bring back these memories of these songs brought me back to college, and it was pretty cool. I want to sit and talk to him for like hours.
Oh yeah,
if I'm ever
easily.
in Tulsa, I'm gonna look him up.